I've started on mute, haven't I? I've started on mute. What a schoolboy error. You would think I've done this long enough to know to take the mute button off. Good morning. How are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whoever you are. Spurs have won a game. Spurs have won a game. We're going to get into it. It wasn't a good game. It was an awful game, but it was 3 very, very vital points, right? 3 big points. Unfortunately, West Ham also picked up 3 points. So we are 1 game further down. And we are as you were at the beginning of the weekend. West Ham winning, Forest winning, Spurs winning. And obviously Leeds United are playing today in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because, look, very, very good 3 points. Like, it was a good 3 points. An awful performance. A terrible performance. I thought, if you had said to me that was still Ange or Frank or Tudor managing, I would have said, yep, 2 or 3. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But we scrambled a win. We scrambled a win from nowhere, really. I didn't get to watch the game in real time. I watched it back, and we are toothless, aren't we? We have nothing. It's not a surprise. We've said it all year. Most people, this is a toothless attack with Richie and Solanke and Tell and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. We've got no creativity in the middle of the park. We've got nothing up top. We get 0 creativity from Spence and from Porro. But we got the win. We got the win. By hook, by crook, Tottenham Hotspur got the win. More injuries have come out of the game. We'll talk about all of this, by the way, in detail. More injuries. Solanke picking up an injury. Looks like Xavi Simons' season could be over as well. And it's left us to a state where we've now got 4 games to save ourselves. And the only forwards we've got at the club, wingers and strikers, are Tell, Richie and Mawani. Yeah. So I think if between those 3, it's something like 13 Premier League goals all season. So listen, it's going to be tough. I've said all weekend, nothing's changed for me. I know people, we won. Sure, we won, but so did the teams around us. So nothing's changed for me. I still worry. I still massively worry. I still think that, listen, this could change weekly, right? 1 game a week, us and West Ham, etc. This could change weekly. But West Ham play Brentford next Saturday at 3 p.m. If they win that, they open up a 5-point gap. Then we go to Villa Park. Now, it's not just about going to Villa Park, a team that don't lose many games at home. And yes, they'll have Europe on their mind, sandwiched in between European games. But I don't know where the goals are coming from. I've said it all year. I'll continue to say it. I just don't know where the points are coming from, the goals are coming from. I felt like I could have watched that game all day and all night, and we never would have scored a goal. Yes, we got the goal from a scramble inside the box, and it fell to Paulinho in 3-4 yards out. But I don't see how we break teams down. I'm worried. Sorry, guys, call me negative. Come on, we've done this long enough. I don't know. Hang on 1 second. 1 second, sorry. One second. Oh, and my front door's gone as well. What's going on here? So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So look, we're in a position, aren't we, where it's not in our hands, right? It's not in our hands. West Ham for me, I think that they will pick up another win. I do. In the last 4, they've won 3 of the last 5, if I'm not wrong. Let's have a look at the league table, shall we? Let's have a look at the league table. So if you look there, West Ham United have won, well, they won 3 of their last 6, 2 of their last 3. So sorry, someone's at my door. My wife's talking really loudly. So they've won 2 of the last 3. They've won 3 of the last 6. I think that they have got another win in them. And if West Ham win 1 more game, Tottenham must win 2, right? Yeah. Hang on, he can join. Hang on. If West Ham win 1 of their last 4, Tottenham need to find 2 from the last 4, right? So West Ham need 1 win from the last 4. That forces Spurs to need 2. I worry. Hang on. Just says, sorry, all season you wanted Gray in over Bentancur. Sorry, mate. You wanted it. So let's put that down now. So, yeah, so I'm worried. I'm truly worried. I don't know where the goals are coming from. I don't know where the creativity is going to come from. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. 1 second, sorry. Sorry, the dog's gone mad. Sorry, Stanley, go away. Sorry, everyone. Let me start this again and be a bit more professional. Look, when you look at this, I would say that Leeds are safe. Leeds United have a better goal difference than us, 6 points clear of us. If Leeds United get 1 more point, then Spurs must win 2 and draw 1 just to catch up Leeds and to catch up the goal difference as well. I think that Leeds are fine. I think Forest will be fine as well. Now, Forest at the moment is a 2-game swing. 2-game swing, Nottingham Forest. And at the moment, a 1-game swing with West Ham. So it's got to be about West Ham, hasn't it? It's got to be about reeling West Ham in. But I think that Forest, look at the form they're in. 3 wins and 3 draws from their last 6. Thank you. Thank you very much. 3 wins, 3 draws from their last 6. I think Nottingham Forest are going to be fine. What Nottingham Forest have got, for me, a proper team. They've actually put a team together. They've got goals from the likes. Morgan Gibbs-White has got 16 in all competitions this year. Morgan Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Chris Wood. They've got goals enough in them at the moment. We don't. Right now, we don't. We really do not have it. So, look, I'm going to say it. People will call me negative. I think we're... Oh, where have I gone? There I am. No, there I am. I think we're going. I do. Now, we'll talk about last night's game in a minute. But the 2 games next week are massive. Now, Brentford have fallen off a cliff, haven't they? I think Brentford have won 1 of their last 9 in the league, right? So Brentford have won 1 of their last 9 in the league. So all those people that were saying, oh, my God, look how great they are without Frank, it's changed. They've fallen off a cliff, right? They've fallen off a cliff. So West Ham will be going there, you would think, with some optimism. West Ham will be going there thinking, we can get something here, whether that's a draw or a win. You know, the way they went to Palace and they got a draw. And I thought they looked quite comfortable as well at Crystal Palace. So that's a massive game. 3 p.m. next Saturday, West Ham away at Brentford. Let's play the negative side first. If they win that, we are 2 games behind them with 4 to play. We go to Villa Park. We go to Stamford Bridge. We welcome Everton and Leeds. I'll be honest. I think we're down. I do think we're down. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I didn't see anything yesterday that suggests anything had changed. I didn't see anything at all yesterday to suggest that we've been working on attacking patterns or any style of play moving forward. And I'm not blaming De Zerbi for that because he's coming with, the 11th hour. But as it stands, I just don't know. I don't know where the goals are coming from. Obviously, Simmons gone down now. Solanke's gone down. By the way, I don't even really rate Xavi Simmons. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that yesterday's win meant nothing. Of course it didn't. It was massive. It was huge. But we could have done without that Callum Wilson goal, couldn't we? We could have really done without that Callum Wilson goal. And unfortunately, oh, hang on, who's back? Yeah, okay, yes, please. Yeah, sorry, someone's going to add something in my background. And unfortunately, I just think it's all a little bit too little too late. Now, I might be saying this, and West Ham go and lose the next 4. Fingers crossed, West Ham lose the next 4. And we'll have a look at the games in a minute. They could. They could, right? They could. Hang on. I think is this Lubo wanting the link? Lubo. Here we go. Let's put the link in. Let's see what Lubo said. I'm sure he'll tell us we were great yesterday or something. Hang on. Here we go. Let's get this in there. So I unfortunately, guys, I just didn't see enough. I didn't see anything yesterday that gave me hope. I know, terrible fan, horrible Savva, always negative. I just didn't see. I just didn't see anything that made me think anything had changed. I'll be honest, what I saw was 2 relegation teams. And I think one of the BBC reporters said this feels like a relegation game. This feels like 2 teams that are going to get relegated. Do you agree? I don't know. As I said, I watched it back. I could only follow the game on my alerts. But when I watched the game back, I'm like, oh, this is a tough watch. Best player on the park by a million miles, Gomez of Wolves. Quality player. Quality footballer. We don't sign players like that. We stopped signing players like that, haven't we? We stopped signing footballers like that. I don't know why. So, look, I think this is going to be really interesting, guys. Look, 4 points from the last 6. Brilliant. Unfortunately, West Ham have taken 4 from their last 6. Unfortunately, Forest have taken 6 from their last 6. Unfortunately, Leeds have taken 7 from the last 9. So it's all, I don't know, it just feels a little bit late. It just feels a little bit late to finally get that win. Stavret sucks. Everton should have got a pen and Wolves player should have got a red card. I didn't think it was a red card. Yes, it was a pen, but it wasn't given. That's life, right? That's life. It is what it is. I think what's happened is, Jay, I think we are so bad that we're now looking for reasons as to why we're going to go down or why we're so bad rather than inside our own garden. We're looking over the garden fence. Absolutely. Daniela, how are we doing? Daniela, how you doing, my man? Said, see how much better we are with Basuma and Bentancur as a 2. Absolutely. Absolutely. We should never have moved to this young midfield. The likes of Sarr and Gray and Burt, we should never have done it. I don't understand why any of the managers did it. But hey, that's just me. I get told I hate youth. I don't hate the youth. I just hate it if they're not better than the senior pros. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. What I did see yesterday was, first half, a lot of possession. Not really going anywhere. Not really going anywhere at all. Lots of possession. No shots on target. I'll tell you what I posted into my barbecue group earlier. It came up on my feed last night. It showed one of the last times we won at Wolves and Jermaine Defoe scored a brace. And it just showed that out of nowhere, Defoe picked the ball up twice, jinked past his man, and whipped two into the top corner. We don't have anyone that can do that now. We don't have anyone in this squad that's fit that can do that. And this is a real this is a real worry. This is a real worry for me. This is a huge concern of mine. And now, obviously, Solanke going down, Xavi Simons going down. We know that Kudus is out and Odegaard's out and Maddison's out and Kulu's out. Like, I'm just so worried. And all roads, all signs will point back to that January and the summer window where we did not buy what we needed. It's going, I've got a horrible feeling it's going to kill us. I do. Oh, good cup of tea, that. And you know what? You've got to have a good cup of tea. There you go. Guys, let's stop talking about football for 1 second. Just rate, you've got to rate the biscuit. Or a chocolate bourbon. Come on. A chocolate bourbon. This is a biscuit of champions. The chocolate bourbon is always good. So, yeah, going back to the football. Yeah, unfortunately, razzle dazzle, we just don't, do we? Look, we're going to have to go to some youth on the bench next week. We've got players dropping like flies. Again, something's got to change with the medical team. But I don't know. Can we go to Villa and put their back four? Excuse me, what are you doing, dog? Get down. Can we go to Aston Villa and put them under enough pressure? Whoever they play, they're going to be a strong team, right? Because Aston Villa have a decent squad, right? They have a decent squad, Aston Villa, don't they? So the question is going to be, what have we got to go to Villa Park and put their back four under enough pressure to win the game? Because, guys, you've got to remember, draws aren't good enough. We can't go and get a draw at Villa Park. We got to win. You got to win these games. So this is my worry. I'll say it over and over and again. People are telling me, just believe, just have faith, confidence. Well, I watched them play yesterday, and you would have thought that after a decent game against Brighton, you would have thought that we would have been right at them. And we weren't. It was just a lot of slow, laborious possession where nothing really looked like it was going to work. By the way, Mawani got to be one of the worst players I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. But yeah, so it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And we've got to wait a week in between games, right? We've got to wait a week. When are we playing? If I'm not wrong, is it next Sunday at 8 p.m.? I've got a feeling it's next Sunday at 8 p.m. Hang on, 1 second. 1 second. Oh, look, a bit of tea on the... So, next Sunday, 7 p.m. Next Sunday, 7 p.m. Here's Lubo. He's going to tell us all about how brilliant we were yesterday. Hello, Uncle Lubo.
How are we doing, Sav? Good morning. We won a game.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. My mouth's hurting a little bit, but other than that, we're all good.
We won a game. It was the only important thing yesterday.
It was
a bit like Bilbao, wasn't it? The performance was horrendous. We stunk the place out, but we got the result, and that was all that counted yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you want to play win and lose? I mean, not really.
No, well, mate, it was interesting watching it back. It was just like, it was a lot of laborious. I mean, you went, right? But I felt like in the first half, it was a lot of laborious possession that wasn't really going anywhere. But it doesn't surprise me, Lubo, because we just don't have the players for it. I'm going to ask you this question straight off the bat.
It was like a training session first half, wasn't it? That's what it was.
It was absolutely like a training session. I'll ask you this straight off the bat.
Go on.
Xavi's gone down. Solanke's gone down. We're now at the stage of Tell, Richie and Mawani as the only wingers, strikers at the club that are fit, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Where are the goals coming? Right. So where are the goals coming from in these last 4 games if those lot don't play?
It's a worry, isn't it? It's a big worry. Simmons didn't make that much impact
No.
But he's still. There were a couple of nice runs in the first half. And he got on the end of there was a nice layoff for him second half, which he put over the top, that he should have done better with. Without him, we can't recall Donnelly after next week, I think, which is a shame because he's the only other 10. So for me, he's got to change tactics. He's got to use Gallagher as the midfield player that's going to run on from behind. Mm-hmm. And for me, he's got to have Thompson on the bench because he's the only winger now that's pacey, direct, and goes at players. We're in a position now. What have we got? 17, 18 fit players? Is that it now? I think we got 10 or 11 that are now missing.
Yeah, I've never known anything like this. Is now 3 years in a row.
No. I know. He must be
one of his medical team, Lubo. If you were part of the Spurs medical team, right? And you were going for a job somewhere else, right? If you were that employer, wouldn't you go, hang on, haven't you been at Spurs while they've had their worst injury crisis for 3 years in a row?
We were sat, I think, 5 rows from the front behind the corner flag yesterday, right where Simmons got unceremoniously bundled off. The linesman became Stevie Wonder for that moment because that was an obvious foul and he didn't even give it. And Simmons is lying there on the ground, screaming in agony, absolutely screaming. You could hear it clearly. So the medical team come on, and they're working on him for about 5-6 minutes, and then they get him up, and they get him trying to get himself ready to get back on. Yeah. So he does a little run forwards, and he just bounces off the knee, off the leg, and just collapses. And it reminded me of Bentancur at Leicester. When Bentancur did his ACL, and surely these guys, they're examining him. Surely that they're looking at it thinking, this may be, obviously you need the scans and x-rays, etc. But surely they're looking at him thinking, this has got the hallmarks of an ACL possibly. This could be a big problem.
But at least it means he'll have to stay. Sorry? At least it means they'll have to stay in the Championship. Can't sell a player with an ACL. Silver linings, Lubo.
Well, listen, that's Xavi and Kulu in the 10s next season, isn't it? So we don't need a 10 for next year. Madison will be fit as well. We'll have all 3 of them.
I know. Can you imagine next year in the Championship, Solanke up top, Kulu, Madison, and Xavi Simmons all playing behind the striker? God.
We'll score 100 goals.
yeah, we will. By the way, later on, we need to talk about what's happened to Leyton Orient, by the way.
Oh, God.
They crumbled, didn't they?
Oh, my God. Crumbled. Fancy going next week?
No. No. It was awful. I tell you what I did like, Lubo, completely. I feel like we should be having this chat in private, but never mind. Everyone on the internet can hear. What a lovely meal. What a lovely meal it was at Leyton Orient.
Wasn't it? What great value. What great value. When a meal and drinks before, came back for more dessert and drinks half time. Yeah. And then drinks and coffee after the match. Plus best seat in the house, 60 quid. Yeah. Mental.
And Orient, I remember we were sitting there going, they only need maybe one more win, and they've not won a game. They're not winning games at all. No. Anyway, that's Leyton Orient. That's for another day. Well done to my Bromley, by the way. Bromley promoted into League One. Well done, Charlton. They have safely secured football. Coventry, who are playing right now, are the league champions. MK Dons. Well done, MK Dons have secured promotion and currently top of League Two. It's all happening, Lubo. It's all happening. It's all happening. I'm excited.
We're all stressed, and we're just going through this pressure cooker of stress and worry. What's going to happen over the next 4 weeks? It's mad. It's just mad.
Hang on, who's messaging me saying I'm jumping on? Hang on 1 second. Let's see. I think it might be your Perchy. It might be your Perchy. It might be your Perchy. I love that conversation you were having. Oh, and also, well done to York City with a 102nd minute winner over the line to get promotion on like 108 points or something. Like it was
Yes, 108
Absolutely.
points. And Rochdale came second on 106.
Oh, they've got to change that rule. Both you've got to have both going up. Like you can't get 106 points and not get promoted. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
In fairness, listen, they got the playoffs. They probably will get promoted. You'd have thought, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, look. Before we bring Perch in, big up to Match Bingo. Please use code FHTV if you fancy a little bit of a bet with a slight difference to the normal betting apps. Good fun. I won on it 2 weeks ago, actually. It was good. It was a nice little payout. So thanks to Match Bingo. Use code FHTV. And OK Jersey, who are currently in the midst of sending me my pink Inter Miami shirt and my Netherlands away kit and the Sweden away kit as well. I'm going for some interesting selections. I was going to go for an Espanyol shirt, but I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I will not be getting an Espanyol shirt.
The absolute disgraceful comment like that is shameless.
Perchy the other day, right? Lubo. So I had an acca on, right? And when I back against Espanyol, Perchy's team, because they've not won in about 15, he actively hopes I lose my accas.
No, dude, I don't care how much. If you're winning $1 grand, 10 grand, like you have to lose. You start doing shit like that.
That's nice, isn't it? Eh? That's nice. Friendly,
Lubo, you back anyone as long as
with
it's
friends like Perchy, eh? With friends like Perchy,
Hey.
who needs enemies, eh?
Absolutely. Guys.
How is everyone?
Good. Very, very well. It's a lovely sunny day. Lots of football on today, FA Cup semi-finals, but we're talking relegation battles. First question to you both. Are Leeds and Forest safe? There's my first question. Are these two safe?
Yes and no. I think Leeds are for me. Forest aren't, but the Forest have the beauty of, for me, is one win and they're done, right? In that they're almost like 1 point, one win, and they're done. So they don't have that pressure, the P word, right? The pressure of well, we don't have to worry about winning next week as long as we get over the line on one game. And I think they will. Forest, by the way, have been in absolute incredible form. I think Forest will end up with probably 44 points or something like that by the end of the season. They'll be safe. Leeds, say one win and they're done. I did check actually what the highest point someone's been relegated with. Does anyone actually know the answer to that?
42, 43.
Well done, Luke. 42. West Ham went down with.
That's right.
So
Is the important thing to note though on Forest? Look how good their goal difference has got in the last few weeks.
Well, they've literally got +8 over the last 2 games, right? They got +8 on their goal difference over the last 2 games. They beat Burnley, 4-1, and then beat Sunderland 5-0. So for them, that's almost as good as a
and us
3-0, right in the last few weeks, right? So I think with what Forest have done is almost gained themselves a point by getting a very, very good goal difference by winning those games very, very convincingly. So they're almost on 40 points, right? Yeah. Objectively, they're on 40 points. So that for me is it. Look, I think we've just got to look. If we're going to worry about everyone else, West Ham's the worry for me. West Ham at the moment with that. Yes, the thing is this is I think the argument. I think loads of people misinterpreted the conversation about yesterday was when it came to West Ham was, well, everyone negated themselves. Nothing changed from beginning of Saturday to the end of Saturday. Nothing changed. The gap's still 2 points. So I think for me, Leeds and Forest are done. It's between Spurs and West Ham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Lubo. Leeds, by the way, it's worth noting, Lubo, that Leeds, whilst they have the 6-point gap, so it's a 2-game swing, they got a 3-goal better difference. They still have to play Burnley at Elland Road
next week, isn't it?
Yeah, and I listen, Lubo. I don't know about you. I disagree with Perchy on it. I think Leeds and Forest are safe. I think both of them are safe. Where are you at with that?
Well, Forest's 4 games are Chelsea away, Newcastle at home. I think it's United away, and Bournemouth at home. So you would expect them to get you would expect them to get, there you go, you would expect them to get something out of that. Leeds, you expect to beat Burnley next week, and then they'll come to Spurs with 43 points, so they'll be clear. And if they win today at Wembley, then they're playing us 5 days before the FA Cup final. So knowing that Spurs will probably be in a win or completely bust situation at that point, Leeds, I would, if you're a Leeds player and Spurs players are flying in for tackles, hopefully, you wouldn't really want to take a risk of getting injured 5 days before a cup final, would you? So for me, I think if Leeds win today, then that could be perfect timing for Spurs.
I think all this is very much if buts, maybes.
It is, of course, it is.
But it's almost just clinging on to something and just hoping for, like, oh well, we hope Leeds are in a final because then we hope that they'll. Like I heard this about Villa. I hope Villa's not.
But that's where we are. And if we didn't have this stuff to talk about, Savva wouldn't have a show, would he? So
yeah, but Luba, you just need to worry about what you're doing.
That's right.
If Leeds do this and Leeds do that, and you don't win your games, nothing will happen. That's the point here. You just got to win your games, apply pressure, and the only way you apply pressure is with points. And that's what we've done.
Agreed.
That's what we've done over the last couple of weeks. So that's what you need to do.
I think I did the maths on it, right? There's 12 points left now. The gap is Spurs won 34, so 46 is now the benchmark, right? Yeah. So the benchmark is 46. Leeds need 2 wins. Forest really, I'm not saying that's in the pretense that Tottenham and West Ham win all of their games up to the end. I don't see that happening. But my point is that is the maximum point. The maximum points now to go down this season is 46 points. And
let's face it,
Percy, are you saying Palace and Newcastle are still in it then? Like if we did the whole maximum thing,
if you're doing it on the math side of things, yeah, but they're not. Like
someone's gonna fall away. It's always someone will fall away. That's it. Someone's gonna go on a disgustingly bad run on the last 4 games.
And it's us at the moment.
Yeah, 1 win in 16.
It's literally being us. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Look, I'd love it to be you guys, but West Ham's fixtures, I think, are hard. I also think the Leeds fixtures help Forest because I think they play both of you, don't they?
Leeds, yes. Yeah. The Leeds play West Ham on the final day.
Yeah, and they've got you as well, haven't they? Yeah. So the thing is, you both could drag Leeds into it, or Leeds will pull away. Either way, Leeds kind of help Forest, I think. Do you know
the one question though, Wolfie? What I would be, I don't think it happens. Newcastle start to play Forest and West Ham. I don't think they will be in the conversation because they've got 42 points. But let's just say hypothetically,
mate, you ain't getting 9 points, bro. You ain't getting.
No, I don't know. No, that's a good point. I don't think Newcastle are in the. I think it's between West Ham and Spurs. I think you guys 1 win gets you stunned. And then you can breathe and worry about the Europa League. As I said, I think statistically it's between Spurs and West Ham.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked though if you and Leeds do finish above Newcastle. It wouldn't shock. I think Newcastle are just on the beach. They'll just tail off, and then you guys will fall and finish above them.
The thing is though, Forest and West Ham have momentum, right?
Yes.
Like if you look between them in their last 12 games, they've only lost 1, and that was Forest haven't lost, and West Ham lost to.
That's the last 12 games, by the way. Not
10. Lost to,
so over 12 games, they've lost Villa. 1 game between them. Now,
we're second in the form table, Sav.
Who Forest?
Forest, yeah,
mate. Listen, but listen, I think your manager came in, did the right thing, put square pegs into square holes. And you look like a team that knew what you needed to do.
Bro, he's changed Gibbs White on some next level, man. Like, seriously, Gibbs White can actually score now. It's disgustingly good.
No, wait, that's not what you said.
No, he can't. No,
apparently he can now, man. The only reason I know Gibbs White was playing is because he can't shoot.
He then scored a hat-trick in about 20 minutes, didn't he?
That is the elite clip I've ever. Oh, brilliant.
I tell you what, I wish we had a goal scoring midfielder that can't shoot like Morgan Gibbs-White.
Well, you could have. You could have. You just didn't pay the release clause, mate.
Oh, mate.
So I'll tell you what gives me a little bit of hope. Close friend of mine's mad West Ham fan. So he sent me a text after the game, staying in a hotel, kicked in the Louvre doors when Everton scored, turned off, cleaned my tea. 20 minutes later, switched on, expecting to find out we lost, but miraculously we won. I hate this. Very poor management, tactical decisions today. You got away with it.
That's
West
about
Ham.
us.
No, West Ham, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
they did.
Because it's about results. It's not about performances. So
Yeah.
it sounds like that they were as bad as us, but they got the result as well.
They were. I had both games on.
Sure.
Both games to me looked like four teams that thought they were on the beach. I'll be honest with you. There was none of the four teams I saw yesterday looked like they were that keen on it. Yeah, West Ham pushed at the end, but the general consensus of the game, I thought your game was weird. Like there was no real. I thought you'd throw the kitchen sink at them and everything.
It had pre-season friendly written on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were just on the beach.
There was no energy. Like I was watching, I was going, what is happening? Like passing side, it was like a training match. It was like,
but the difference
it had a team that were already down and didn't really care, and a team that really had no life about them.
Yeah, I really expected you guys to go there yesterday and think, right, Forest have creamed the goal difference here. You need to make sure you're at least clear of West Ham's goal difference. Go and put 2, 3, 4 past them. Because if you'd scored early, this is the thing. I think if you'd scored early, they would have caved in. You'd have got 2, 3, or 4. But because you scored so late, and you got to say,
we don't have goals at all.
Wolfie, we don't have goals. See, I said this on the barbecue group this morning, right? When you look at Forest, like, okay, you got Chris Wood, knows how to score a goal. Gibbs-White has got you 16 in all competitions from midfield, right? You got Hudson-Odoi that every now and then can unleash a goal. When you look at West Ham, they got Somerville, Bowen, Tatty's come in and made a difference, right? Souček pops up. We've got. When you look at Spurs, who scores goals in the Spurs team? There's no goals anywhere in this team.
Paulinho.
Paulinho.
How come he didn't whip his shirt off yesterday, man? I thought we were going to get deja vu all over again.
Thank God for him against Wolves this season.
Exactly. Yeah, he saved you. He's earned you 4 points. Look, I think this is going to be fascinating. I don't know who's going down. I'll be honest with you. If you'd lost it, you were gone. Or drawn it, you were gone.
That save kept us up. That save kept us theoretically in the Premier League.
The free kick.
Yeah, the free kick.
Yeah,
mate, that was a comfortable save. Freaking Savva would have saved that. Come on, man. It was curling back towards him.
Yeah, I think if he had let that in, I would have been. I think that was bread and butter for a goalkeeper. But look, we have so little to shout about Wolfie that when we see a good save or a good pass or a good cross, we talk about it for weeks.
What's the general vibe right now? Because I'm looking at it thinking nothing changed technically, but a lot did change.
Whoa.
If that makes sense.
What I would say, Wolfie, what I saw the reaction yesterday, you would have thought we had beaten Barcelona. Well, that's loud.
Hang on, Stel, I'm going to have to mute you when you're not talking because we can hear kids running around in the background. Cheers.
What I saw yesterday, I couldn't believe it. You would have thought we had just turned up at the new camp yesterday, played Barcelona off the park, and won 3-0. Like, it was, oh my God. Like, it just shows how little we've had to celebrate anything. We went and played a drab Wolves team and played horrendously, absolutely stole a result. But the key for me is look, I don't care now. We're out at the time of how we play. I don't really care. Just get the win. So I was happy we won the game.
The wins are fine.
But nothing changed for me because
a lot changed. So a lot changed. This is the problem.
I don't think anything on the mindset of staying up changed.
I'm saying
massive change, massive change, Perchy. They won a game. They won a game.
No, Lubo.
Enormous change.
No, Lubo, you're looking at it wrong. What changed was that 3 points have gone off the final tally. for all 3-4 teams, however many you want to look at it. So you've actually now got a smaller margin for error. Because you didn't gain on Forest, you didn't gain on West Ham. Therefore, your margin for error is smaller now because all that's happened is 3 have been knocked off the tally. That's it. But it could have been worse. It could have been worse. But you needed a Forest to lose or a West Ham to lose or draw or something like that. I just think. I didn't see the fight.
That's my point, though. Before at the beginning, Saturday morning to Saturday evening, nothing changed except 1 game less to go and get through it. So I agree with you. So we can celebrate winning a game of football, great, but in the grand scheme of things, it still doesn't mean we're staying up.
Here's the question. Here's the question, right? And Stel, welcome to the show as well. Here's the question. Yes, we won. Yep. We never sorry about that. We never look down our noses at wins, especially when Spurs don't hardly ever win a game. But the big question is, has anything changed in anyone's mindset from yesterday that actually makes them go, yeah, I think after that win, we're closer to safety? Because I see it exactly the same as I did yesterday morning. I still think we're the worst of the teams fighting for it. I still think that Leeds and Forest have got enough to stay up. And I still think that West Ham have got 1 win left in them, at least in the last 4, which means we need to win 2.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say something on Chip. Sorry. I think what changed yesterday is West Ham's form is not that good. And now I've seen that in back-to-back games. They don't look like the team that was playing 2-3 matches ago. They were poor yesterday and they were poor against Palace. So that's the best hope I can give you. Sorry, Stel.
Are they any better than us, though? I don't think they play any worse than we do.
I want to bring Stel in. I can't unmute you because you've muted yourself, by the way.
Can you hear me?
Stel, has something massively changed? By the way, Coventry are beating Wrexham, for anyone that cares.
Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. No, absolutely nothing has changed. It's ludicrous to suggest otherwise. We started the game 2 points behind. We ended the game 2 points behind. It's actually worse because now we've got 1 less game to try and close the gap. So where we had 5, we're now injuries. Right. And on top of it, any which way you look at it, Nottingham Forest, Leeds, West Ham have all got their attackers fit. Now, whether you think they're good or not, does it matter? They're all fit. We don't have Xavi, we don't have Cooley, we don't have Maddison, we don't have Kudus, and now we don't have Solanke, who is the better of the technical strikers that we have, who are all crap anyway. So we are literally left with Mawani, who's awful, Richarlison, who's technically backwards, Mateus Tell, who doesn't score, no attacking mid. I'd rather have Souček, Somerville and Bowen than what we've got. And that's the reality of it. They're going to pick up more points because they've got fit attackers. So I think we're in a worse position now, personally.
Just quickly, Wolfie, I know you need to bounce, mate, but thanks for popping on and well done to your team because you're stepping up at the right moment.
Well, it's all about nicking your trophy now. That's all I care about. Relegate, you steal your trophy.
Come on, Villa. Come on, my Villa.
You're a secret Villa fan, aren't you?
From Lubo's logic, though, he wants Forest to batter Villa on midweek, so Villa play a weakened side against us. It's Uno reverse with Lubo. He wants Forest
Emery does not play weakened teams, even after they were 4-1 up against Bologna. He still put out full strength teams. So, and they're not safe. They're not safe in the Champions League because they lost to Fulham. So, anyway, big up, boys. Still, I've been dying to hear what you guys say, mate. So, apologies, but I got to shoot.
Wolfie, much love, dude. I'll speak to you soon.
Love see you boys later. Bye.
I think this is the interesting thing, right? We could talk about mindset, and they've now won a game. And I know Phil Coys was talking about confidence. For me, I've said this all year. I don't think this has anything to do with confidence. This, for me, was about ability. And unfortunately, listen, I want to be wrong, but we're going to Aston Villa. Villa Park is a very tough place to go. And I just don't see who creates. I have no idea how we score goals against them. That hasn't changed because Paulinho stuck his leg out and scraped a goal from 3 yards. That doesn't change for me. So am I negative? Am I being harsh, or is that just a reality?
I think it's the reality of the conversation that we need to have. It's a good question to have. How do we line up now without Xavi Simons and Solanke now? Those two are done. They're done for the season. So you're almost thinking, does he go 4-4-2 and play and go Mawani up top with Richarlison, and then Tell out wide and somebody else, maybe Porro out wide and
Perchi, he's going to go with the front three. He's going to play Tell, Mawani, Richarlison front three. De Zerbi's stubborn. He won't change his front three, and I think it's ludicrous because we don't have three good players to play across the front three. And what he's doing basically is it's like we're starting every game with 10 men or 9 men. Every game it's like we're handicapped.
How many goals has Tell scored this season in the league? 1?
Tell?
Yeah.
3.
Tell scored 3.
So Tell scored 3. Richarlison scored 9, our top goal scorer, by the way. I mean, I'm not being funny. Forest did that in 2 games, by the way. In the space of a week, Forest scored 9. Our top goal scorer scored 9 all season. And then you've got Mawani, who is a sack of shit. Sorry, he just is dreadful. Like, a player that is so bad and doesn't want to be here. It's like, what are we doing? You're right. Like, it's like playing with 10 men. You're right. Who creates out there? Then in midfield, it will end up being Paulinho, Gallagher, Basuma, maybe Bentancur, Gallagher.
Wouldn't you go with the 4? I don't know about you guys, and I think Stella's right because I think De Zerbi will be stubborn. But wouldn't you go with Tell and Rich? I don't even want this. Tell and Richie up top, and then Paulinho at the base of a diamond with Bentancur, Basuma as a 2, and then Gallagher as an advanced pressing midfield. I mean,
the only problem with that is then you end up playing those 4. I don't disagree with you, but the problem then you end up going, well, then you've now got no one on the bench to do it. Like, do you know what I mean? You're almost at a stage where you're just throwing everyone in at the same time and going, well, if we need to change this up and it doesn't work, we've now got nothing. Look, let's be fair. We're not very good. As I said, winning at Wolves means nothing in the grand scheme. It's yay, we won a game of football, happy days, but the bigger picture is always the key bit for me. Where do we beat Aston Villa, right? Is the big question. Where on the pitch do we beat Aston Villa? that's the question I like to ask people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would do, Savva? Do you know what I would do? I would go 4-5-1. And I would play with just one striker that stays in the box, doesn't drop deep. So in case we get any crosses in there, maybe he gets on the end of them. I'd play Tell as a wide player, but I wouldn't have a wide player on the right. Instead, I'd tell Porro to push up when he can and act as a fake right winger, and then play 4 in that midfield. So you could say it's a 4-4-1-1 with Tell pushing a bit more wider. In the one behind the player up top, or a 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it. But if we go with 3 across the top again, just give the points to Villa. If we play 3 up front, just give the points to Villa.
Yeah, it doesn't work, does it? It genuinely. Wrexham have equalised. For anyone who's worried about Wrexham getting promoted, they've equalised at Coventry. The strange thing about this, though, still, before I bring in Lubo, is we can have these arguments about what we would do. This is what we've got now. This is what we're left with. We're now left with a part where all the central midfielders are fit, but none of the forwards and the wide men and the creative midfielders are fit anymore. I'm still going to ask the same question I asked in August when the window shut. How do we score goals? I just don't see it, mate. I've said it all season. I've not changed my mind on it all year. I don't know where the goals are in that 11.
Well, we had 4 decent chances second half, and 2 of them were from set pieces because Mickey's header was saved by the keeper, wasn't it? And the other 2 were the Simmons shot, and I don't know what Richarlison was doing when Simmons gave him a great run and Richie just shot from about 25 yards and put it into Rosette. So our most dangerous moments yesterday were from set pieces.
Do you know?
There's your answer, unfortunately.
But isn't the hard problem with all of this though that we almost have to create loads to get a goal. Like, because we haven't got the greatest players, but we don't even create a load of opportunity. Like, you know, some teams that you go, oh, do you know what? They create loads, they just can't score, but they nick a goal because they've created 15, 20 chances. We don't even create a lot of chances to go, one of those will nick in. We don't create anything.
We were doing that. We were doing that at the start of the season. We weren't creating many chances. In fact, I think there was one stat I saw where we had a 50% conversion rate on big chances.
We're a worse team than we were. We were a worse team than we were beginning of the season.
No. Hang on. Carragher turned around. We were third in the table, and Carragher turned around and said, Spurs XG is 17th out of 20 teams.
I don't care about XG. We were getting chances though.
And he said that this is unsustainable, and hence we've seen what's happened.
But it's gone the opposite. We don't create anything now. But it has, because we don't create anything
anymore. We're not creating anymore.
No. We don't create anything though. I watch it. Name me 3 big opportunities we had yesterday. I can only name you, and let's be fair, I'm not even counting Pauline. His goal was a big opportunity. He stuck out a leg and got lucky with it. Fair, by the way, I'm not complaining. I think him lovely that he done it, but we didn't actually sit there and go, oh, we created opportunity, and we go, the keepers had a blinder.
Well, I've got to tell you,
I don't think Sarr did anything major yesterday.
Perchy, Van der Ven got his head on that corner that the keeper saved. We scored a goal, and Simmons should have buried it for the shot. He was 18 yards or just inside the box, and he put it over. There's 3.
Lubo. Listen, there's a reason we're 18th and the bookie's favourite to go down. It's because we don't convert chances. We don't convert chances.
No, we give away. No, we're 18th also because we make lots of stupid errors and give away stupid goals.
Goals win games. We don't score goals.
We
don't score against Sunderland. We didn't, Lubo, 1 second. We didn't score against Sunderland. We needed a right back to score against Brighton, and we needed a defensive midfielder to score against Wolves. We don't score goals. The only midfielder that scores for us right now is Paulinho, who's on the bench every game, and it's Xavi Simmons, who's now out for the season. The midfield has got 0 goals in it. The front 3 barely has any goals in it. Lubo, we don't score goals, bro. We don't score goals.
Well, listen, we haven't done, but you've got to look. You've got to look for some sort of positivity. Otherwise, what's the point?
Which is what?
Yeah, but we can
all
pretend we're going to go and score loads of goals.
How are we going to score goals? We'll score goals hopefully from set pieces.
Hopefully.
Well,
exactly.
I can't guarantee it still. I can't guarantee we're going to score, so I've got to say hopefully.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at our recent games. So yesterday we scored with, what was it? A scuffed shot from Richarlison that Paulinho stuck his foot on.
Yeah.
Right. Brighton, we got a worldie from Xavi Simmons and a header from a fullback. Nothing against Sunderland. Nothing against Forest. Richie scored against Liverpool, didn't he, in the last minute to get the...
Who scored against Palace, Savva? Who scored against Palace?
Archie Gray.
Archie Gray got the goal against Crystal Palace on the counter attack, if I remember rightly. It
was a cross, and it was a corner, wasn't it? It was a flick on.
It was
a corner.
I'm sure it came from a corner.
No, that was the Brentford game where he got that, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe right.
Was it
anyway?
So
we scored, but again, that was against the run of play. One of the only chances we had. Anyway, Fulham. Remember the Fulham game where Fulham battered us? We got 1 goal. Arsenal, we got 1 goal because Declan Rice gave the ball away and Mawani went through and scored. We got no goal. 1 goal against Newcastle. I can't even remember it. Can't even remember the goal. Anyone?
Against
Newcastle.
That
was Archie Gray.
Yes, yeah. Right?
Then we got no goals against Man United. So if I go back, that's 10 games have gone back. We don't score, we don't create a lot. It's balls dropping in the box from corners. There's no fluid movement. And this is what I said yesterday. People said, see, look at the difference De Zerbi's making. And I'm like, I'm watching it, and I'm not knocking De Zerbi, by the way, guys. I don't see any difference in what we're doing with De Zerbi to what we did with Tudor or Frank. I'll be honest. Against Brighton, I thought there was some good moments, but yesterday was awful. Sunderland was awful, and I'm going to say it again, guys. Maybe, just maybe, the footballers aren't very good. Just putting it out there.
Well,
maybe. You can't. You're not allowed to say that.
Do you not think that we're better off the ball?
Not
under
really. Really? What do we do?
Did you see? I'll tell you what, Lubo. Did you see? Right, talking about your mate Jamie Carragher last week on the Monday Night Football. I don't know if you saw this, Stel and Perchy. Right, Jamie Carragher broke down the goal we conceded to Brighton in the last minute. He broke it down from start to finish, and he said it's just a mess all over the park. Like he said, Spencer's gone and left his man. This person did. So when we're talking about aren't we better off the ball, I don't know how we're.
I'm not talking about perfections, Sam. I'm not talking about perfection.
No one's saying perfection. But I watched it back this morning, Luba. I watched yesterday's game this morning because I couldn't watch it yesterday. Right?
How did you get through 90 minutes, knowing how bad it was? It was horrendous.
It was horrendous, but I have to because I do these shows, so I have to be able to say, okay, I've seen that and I've seen. But I'm watching it and going, if that had been Tudor or Frank, everyone would be going, this is shit. Everyone would. But because it's De Zerbi, people are going, isn't it different? I'm like, no, I don't think it is different at all. We had, if I'm not wrong, 2 shots on target in the entire game.
Yeah.
Right? We
11
created
shots in total.
1 big chance. Right? This is what we've been doing all season. Right? This is what we've been doing all season. It doesn't matter whether it's Tudor, whether it's Frank, whether it's De Zerbi. We don't create good chances. We don't score goals because we don't have the quality. It's not confidence. It's quality. It's ability. It's not there.
Well, I agree with you going forward, definitely. I think the difference that I've seen under De Zerbi, and I watch all the games, is that, and you can see players in front of you when they're not tracking. When they just sod it, I just give up, and not all the time. He hasn't eradicated it totally, but I do feel that De Zerbi's got players tracking back now a lot more than what they were. Because I mean, if you look at the Newcastle game, which was Frank's last match,
it was abysmal.
It was, and players weren't bothering to track at all. They just gave up. They would just Newcastle down our left side. They just had a field day in that first half. They could have scored 6 or 7.
Sure, but where was the urgent? So okay, he's got them. If we're going to say that, fine. But why hasn't he got any urgency into them on the ball then?
It's a good question because
that's the worry. It was played like we're safe and we're now just cruising to the end of the season.
Correct. And it was like first half, and it was like first half. How are we going to break Wolves down if we're taking 10 passes to get over the halfway line? It was just ridiculous. It was literally like someone actually said next to me, this is like a training session. There is no urgency going forward, no intensity. When Wolves had the ball, which wasn't that often, to be fair, our players did get back, and they were tackling hard. I mean, Solanke was doing a lot first half, chasing back. Gallagher, Bentancur thought had another decent game, and the covering was there. But going forward, it seemed to be great. We worked hard to get the ball. Now we've got the ball. Let's have a breather.
But can I just add on to that, Lubo? Sorry. But isn't that the point that Savva was making earlier? If that was Thomas Frank in the dugout or Igor Tudor, they would have been castrated for how bad it was. But because De Zerbi's the new flashy toy, there's an excuse for De Zerbi. We look no different, as I said earlier, no different than we have done all season. Slow, lackluster, lack of urgency. And again, Paulinho sticks his foot out and nicks a goal. Thank God you might save us. Apart from that, what is there to shout about? And this is where I get so frustrated because I'm sitting going, everyone's making out like we absolutely battered a terrible Wolves team.
Perchy, when you get to this stage of the season and you're 15 games without a win and you're 2 points adrift in the relegation zone, it's about results. It's not about performance.
But you could deep.
It's about you heard what Wolfie said about West Ham. They've been shit the last 2 games. They got 4 points. They don't care.
Okay, fine.
If
you were to put your hard-earned money on who's going to get the next win out of the 2 teams, Are you really hand on heart going, I'll put my money on Tottenham?
The answer is you don't put your money down on either, to be fair.
No, but okay, a hypothetical conversation.
They're both playing poorly.
West Ham. I think West Ham are more likely.
Hang on. This is really disingenuous. They're both playing poor at the moment.
At the moment, the last two games they've both been well. The Spurs,
West Ham United have lost 1 of 6 and 3 wins in that time. So when we're saying they're playing really poorly, I mean, are they?
Wolfie did say this isn't the West Ham of 3 weeks ago who were playing well. He did say he's watched the last 2 games and they've been poor both games.
Yeah, but by the way, they've just played away at Selhurst Park and they've played one of the best teams in the league on with away form. Like we're talking as though they've played crap teams. They've played 2 good teams.
A Palace who left out their best players, who rested their best players.
West Ham have lost once in 2 months, by the way. This is a West Ham have lost 1 in 2 months.
Perchy, it's all about the here and now. It's not about what's gone on previously.
Yeah.
It's about the here and now and how things are playing.
But that's only you're only using that as a barometer because Spurs shithoused a win yesterday. You're only using that barometer as the here and now.
Perchy, I don't care if Spurs shithouse 4 wins or 3 wins out the next.
Me neither. I don't care.
Not give a damn. It's just about results.
But of course, it is all about the results. But my point is though, everyone's now jumping for joy and now saying their piece that we're going to be safe now because we did like. Who was it? West Ham played Wolves not too long ago. They absolutely ripped him to shreds. Did anyone watch that game? The West Ham battered them 4-0.
Yeah, battered them.
Absolutely tore Wolves to shreds. We didn't look any better than Wolves yesterday. We didn't look any better than they did. We just toe poked a goal in and happy days who did that.
I've got to tell you, I thought we were the better of 2 very poor teams. Marginally.
I mean, the bar was so low.
They hardly created anything, did they, Wolves? They were, we
hardly created anything.
Let's look at West Ham then moving forward, right? Because I think let's be brutally honest, guys. We don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but Forest and Leeds will have to absolutely collapse to be cool, in my opinion. I think they've both got enough. They can both win 1 more game in 4 and they're safe. West Ham go to Brentford, right? Who, by the way, have fallen off an absolute cliff in the last 3 months. Right? They've won 1 game in 9. Brentford. They're not losing many, but they've won 1 game in 9, right? All of this hysteria that Keith Andrews is doing better than Frank ever did is by the way, absolutely not true in any way, shape or form. But that's just a little dig from me. But West Ham go to Brentford. West Ham aren't losing games. Brentford aren't winning games. What do we think is going to happen between Brentford and West Ham? And let's throw in another point. They're playing on the Saturday. If West Ham win that, guys, that opens up a 2-game swing for Spurs.
In which case it's looking highly likely we're gone. I'll put this to you. How because of the way the league is this season, and because the way all the clubs in the middle, say below the top 5, they've all concertinaed up, haven't they, from 5th to 12th? There's very few points. There's 5 points between them, I think. 7, maybe 7 points.
Leeds are closer to getting into Europe than they are to get relegated, for example.
Sure, but if Brentford win at Old Trafford tomorrow night, Brentford goes 6th, and if Villa win the Europa and finish 5th, then 6th place gets you a Champions League spot.
Sure, but I've been hearing this about Brentford for the last few months. If they win, they're not winning games. And I'll be honest, I watched them twice in the last 2 weeks, and they look very much like a team that are going through motions. I think there's a difference between teams that go, right, we're fighting for a European place, and teams that have got the mindset of, that's another year in the Premier League.
We're safe. Yeah.
And when I watched, I don't know if any of you saw it, Brentford versus Fulham last week. I'll be honest, guys, bearing in mind we support Spurs and have seen some shit games. Some of the worst football I saw last week, Brentford versus Fulham. Dreadful game. But the point is, have West Ham got enough to go there and grab a win?
Yeah.
Sav, I've got the form guide for the last 6 games in front of me.
Here you go. I'll bring it up.
Brentford have won 1 and drawn 5. They're unbeaten in the last 6.
Yeah, I know. They're just not winning games, are they? Look, there you go.
There
it is. Look.
I mean, look at Chelsea.
We all know Chelsea have fallen off an absolute cliff. We know that's why they sacked their manager.
Right, but if you look at the last 6 games, Brighton have got 10 points, Bournemouth have got 9, Chelsea 3, Brentford 8, Fulham 5. I mean, Brentford aren't doing. When you look at that, they're on 8 points, Bournemouth on 9.
Yeah, I know, but you're also forgetting that they've not won a game in 5, right? Yeah. Whichever way you split, they've not won a game of football for 5 Premier League attempts, right? So
they're not losing, though, are they? Which is the one thing you don't want them to do against West Ham.
Sure, but this is my point. Are Brentford in that phase now of the season where it's we'll take a draw? I don't know. Yeah. Like if you think about it, Bournemouth have picked up, Brighton have picked up, right? Brentford in that time have just done that. Just ever so slowly starting to. Now, which Brentford are we going to get next week? Is it going to be the Brentford that the draw specialists? Or is it going to be the West Ham that hit them on the break with the likes of Somerville and Bowen? Like this is, it's a massive game, right? That game for me next weekend is massive. Like that is absolutely huge, that game.
See, for me, I'm not expecting too much from Villa, unfortunately. If we'd have had Simmons and Solanke, I may have been hoping maybe we nick a draw because they're playing in between the 2 Forest semi-final matches. I'm not expecting anything from Villa, providing West Ham don't win. If Brentford win, the status quo is kept. We're still 2 points behind, and I think the following weekend for Spurs will be massive. And this is all based on West Ham not winning. If West Ham win and we don't next week,
it's done.
Then I think we're done. We're done.
Yeah. If that will be 5 points with 9 to play for, we're done. If that happens, we're done.
Yeah.
If it's 2 or 3, the following week the Leeds game is crucial. It's that will be win or bust because Arsenal will beat West Ham. And
so the next 2 is crucial, right?
Yeah,
the next 2 games are both crucial.
If we are ahead of West Ham, even on goal difference, with 2 to play, again, I follow Ramon Vega on Twitter, and he's been saying all along it will come down to the last week when West Ham we play Everton.
Do you remember my prediction, Lupo?
You thought we'd be down before Chelsea?
I think we'll be down going into the Chelsea game.
Okay,
is that the second to last game of the season? Is it the penultimate game?
It is.
Yeah. See,
if Chelsea lose today, we play them 3 weeks today on the 17th, 17th, I think it is, Sunday the 17th. If Chelsea win today, then they'll be at Wembley on the 16th, and I think we're at Stamford Bridge on the 20th. So that's where we are.
Yeah, guys, I know a lot of people think I'm negative, but I'm grateful for the win. I just didn't see anything in that win that changed my mind to think that we're staying up. I saw 2 really poor teams. I saw one player with a bit of quality, and that was Gomez of Wolves. I think he's a top footballer.
He'll get a good move next season.
He's going to Atleti, isn't he?
Is that already done?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
him and Edison apparently are both going to Atleti.
Oh, that's a good midfield.
I know they didn't have too much to do yesterday, but did you not think Danso and Van der Ven were okay?
No, they were okay, but again, I just didn't think they had anything to do. That's the point. Like,
okay,
I can't
really judge that.
In terms of quality, and in terms of, for me, when I watch the game today, Gomez stands out like a sore thumb. Anyone with technical ability stands out like a sore thumb. Just the way he moves and glides and manipulates the football. The problem is, as I said, this has all come with 4 games to go, right? If this win had come 3 games ago, you go, all right, maybe. I'm just worried. Now, guys, I'm just a football fan. This is just an opinion. This time next week, or not this time next week, in 8 days' time, we might be sitting here going, bloody hell, West Ham lost to Brentford. We've beaten Villa 1-0. Right, pressure's back onto West Ham. I don't know. But if we go 5 behind, guys,
it's done.
With 3 games to go,
that's done. It's done and dusted then. Yeah, it's done and dusted. That means West Ham, with 3 games to go, almost only need. We would then have to go and win the last 3 back to back. If you don't beat Aston Villa, if you lose to Villa, you've then got to go and beat Leeds at home, go to Stamford Bridge, and then beat Everton at home on the final day. Like, you've got to go and do one of those, like the West Bromwich Albion survival. Remember that back in the day when West Brom were like out of it, January.
They won the last 3, didn't they? They won the
last 3 games and then stayed up out of nowhere. Like, no one expected it. Like, you're getting into great escape territory, right? We're getting into great escape territory. Look, I think the next two is crucial. And then you've just got to hope then, right, that West Ham don't go and look. Do you know what the worst part about it? West Ham go to Newcastle, who are in horrendous form at the moment, and then go and play Leeds on the final day where they're done and dusted in the division. That for me is where it worries. That worries me at the end. That last bit.
Can I ask a question? Newcastle have lost their last 4 games, so yes, they're in free fall. I haven't heard too much about their game with Arsenal. The bits I did pick up was that they should have got a draw out of it. They missed 2 gilt-edged chances near the end, and it was a better performance all round. Am I getting that correctly?
I mean, the patches that I watched, I only watched patches of it because I was watching the cup final. What a game, by the way! Shout out to Southampton. I thought they deserved to at least go to extra time. I thought they were brilliant yesterday. But no, I was watching that, but I did flick over a bit. From what I saw was Arsenal kind of got that goal and went, "We're done. We'll shut up shop. Try. You have to break us down. Didn't break Arsenal down. It was." Arsenal fans will sit and say it was boring to Arsenal again, but again, this situation, it's all about staying up, right? So if it's all about them for just winning games for them, it's different.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there with what you said just before. That game at Upton Park. Oh, it's not Upton Park anymore, is it? It's the
London Stadium.
Yeah. I just wish they'd go back to their usual names. That game on the last day of the season, let's be fair. If you had said to West Ham, right, you're going to have Leeds on the last day of the season at home to secure your own safety, I think they will. And I think if we go into that last day and it's us versus West Ham, I'm really worried. Guys, I'm worried. I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing in the last 3-4 weeks since De Zerbi's come in that has changed my mind. Like I've seen nothing that makes me go, yeah, we're staying up. There's enough goals and points in this team. Not blaming De Zerbi, not blaming him, not blaming him, not blaming him.
For me, Tottenham need to get 2 points in the next 3 games. Next 3 games, conjure up a 2+2 points on West Ham. As long as you go into that final game where you're ahead on goal difference, because we've got a better goal difference than they have, then the fate's in our hands on the final day against Everton. Beat Everton and you're safe, right? You beat Everton, you're safe. My concern is we get into that final day in the relegation zone, needing a snooker from Leeds United to save us, right?
We don't get it. We
don't get it because West Ham go and win. Bit like I could see West Ham beating Leeds a bit like they beat Everton yesterday, where it was scrappy. They weren't great, but they ground out.
What will Leeds have to play for on the last day of the season? What will Leeds listen? Sure, Leeds could lose their next 3 and need to win that game. Sure, but realistically, they've got Burnley at home.
They'll be done.
Right, I think they're going to be done. Yes. Now, I've always thought this is double-edged sword, right? I think it's dangerous to play a team that don't have anything to play for because it goes one of two ways. They either relax, there's no pressure, and they can be good, or they literally down tools. So, for example, I made a mistake on my ACCA yesterday, right? I put Huddersfield in my ACCA, right?
Oh, silly move.
Without checking the league table. And then I realized Huddersfield at home, they've got nothing. They can't go up, they can't go down, right? Huddersfield got battered at home like 4-1 or whatever it was. So players can switch off or they can relax and start playing better again. The worry for me is, the big worry for me is going to be, we play. How has Mr. Box Office got the link? How did you get that, Alex? How did you get that link? Did I put it in the group?
You did.
I put it in the group. You're on mute. I completely forgot I did that. The worry for me.
What do you mean? That's not nice, isn't it?
No,
That's not nice.
No, I don't mean it like
What's that
that.
all about?
I don't mean it like that. I just wasn't. I forgot that I put it in the group.
Don't pull down the Professor of Truth and Entertainment. Never do that.
Anyway, yeah, my worry, as always, guys, is goals and creativity. That's it. And that's the big worry for me. We're now looking at Tell, Moani, and Richie. One of them is going to have to step up to the plate. Here's my question. Are any of them capable of stepping up to the plate? Have any of them got enough ability to step up to that plate and save us?
I think they need service, don't they? To show whether they can or not. And service has not been big all season, has it, particularly? Hence,
look, we're just
a lot of the goals we were scoring, when we were playing well, I say playing well, when the results were going well early in the season, were set pieces. So the service to the strikers, in fairness to them, I know we've got, for me, this is the worst set of forwards we've had since Raziak and Andy Booth in the early 2000s.
Cool.
The service
top players. Top players you're remembering there, Lube. Andy Booth and Gregor Raziak.
God, the service. I mean, Raziak, I think, is probably the worst player I've ever seen in a white shirt. Just horrendous.
I don't know. I think Kolo Moani played football at Tottenham.
He probably runs in. In fact, you're right. I would probably put. Having said that, I never saw Raziak do what Moani did at PSG. So Raziak just about shades it in front of Moani. But
brilliant company.
They've had no service, have they? In fairness, Sav, they've had no service.
Sure, but what they've also done in their careers is shown that they don't score a lot of goals. Like let's be fair, right? I've said this for ages, and I've taken pelters for it. If you keep buying players from lesser clubs that have never really done a lot in their career, you are going to become that club, right? We signed Richarlison from Everton. I cannot believe, by the way, he's been here for, is this season 5?
I think it is.
Too long.
Right? So we signed Richie from Everton, a guy whose best ever haul has been 13 Premier League goals, of which I believe, somebody might correct me on this, I believe that 5 of that 13 were penalties, right?
He's played 129 games if you include yesterday, and he scored 30 goals.
Premier League?
No, I'm talking about overall.
129 and 30.
For Tottenham across League, FA Cup, League Cup, and Europe.
Wait, how many goals did you just say?
He scored 30 in 129.
So what's that? One every 4 and a... One every 4.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 30. I've got it here. 30, yeah.
It's one every
4.5 roughly.
100, that is mental.
Right. So you think, right? We went and got him, a guy whose best ever was 13. We went and got Dominic Solanke, who had one good year in the Premier League. Every other season, his goals were in the Championship.
He's 22 in 64. 1 in 3.
Sure. Sure. And how many of them have been in Europa Leagues and things like that?
Well, in the league, he scored 12. out of those 22.
Right. So in 2 years, the guy's got 12 league goals. Right? Like, so, but my point is, isn't this like, what was that TV show? Was it You Are What You Eat? Right?
Oh,
like, if I sat here every day and let's just say, do you remember that? Do you remember that TV show, guys? The documentary. What was the McDonald's documentary? Super Size Me.
Super Size Me.
Right.
Yeah.
And they took. I don't know if you've seen it, Lubo. If Alex has seen it, it's Super Size Me. Basically, this guy in America said, right, what he's going to do for 30 days is he is going to only eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner McDonald's. Right. So he got all his bloods tested, all of his he had an MOT before he did it, and then he had an MOT halfway through, and then at the end, right? And essentially, every time he went into a McDonald's, the rule was if they said, "Would you like us to supersize that for you?" He had to say yes, and he had to have everything on the menu at least once, right? And it showed his skin after the 30 days. It showed his blood work, his fatigue, his everything, right? That is Spurs. If you keep consuming bad footballers, you're going to become a bad football team, right? I don't know if that's rocket science, but this is what we've done. Somebody has put together a collection of Tell, Muani, Richie, and Solanke as a group of forwards. Do we just, Alex, I'll ask you, do we almost deserve this when you look at that? Do we, not fans, but do we as a club kind of deserve this situation?
You know my answer. I've already said that we deserve to get relegated. I've said it on my channel already. So I feel that we deserve to get relegated. I don't see us getting out of it because we're not going to get 4 wins, and we need 4 wins. I don't care about West Ham. West Ham are relevant in this situation. Yes, they need to mess up, but at the same time, we need to put pressure on them. And if you're going to put pressure on them, you need to win games. And
do you think we need 4 wins?
Yeah, we do. We do.
4?
We do. Yeah,
I don't think we need 4
wins. Because my reasoning is, and by the way, if you think I'm wrong, well, you're saying De Zerbi's wrong because he's saying it as well, right?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking. So by
I'm just saying at the moment,
what we're saying by that metric, Alex, is that West Ham are going to win 3.
Well, yeah.
To say we need 4 means West Ham.
You have to win 4.
Well, you have to think it like that because that's the situation we're in at the moment.
If we need to win 4, it also means Forest. That means would need to win at least 2 more as well.
Well, who's in the relegation zone? Can I ask the question? Who's in the relegation zone right now?
Oh, we are.
Exactly. So we've got to win games. So there's no doubt about it right now. So at the moment, the problem is that we're focusing on other teams, and this is why we're in this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
All right. So people tell me I'm being negative, but I think that's a positive in my sense as well right now. Because for me at the moment, I don't care. We're done. I don't care if we're down because I think we deserve it. I've had enough this season. The only good moment I've seen this season is Javi Simmons' goal last week. If you watch my channel, you saw my reaction. The first time I've actually been happy watching the goal for ages. Yeah. But other than that, I've not seen anything else to get me moved whatsoever. So other than that, it makes no difference to me whatsoever. You can call me a bad fan, whatever, but I'm just telling you right now. From what I'm seeing at the moment, yesterday, 2 poor teams, not copying what Savva said. Watch my channel, I said it again. I said the same thing, not even watching Savva.
I think lots have said it, Alex. Lots have said it. It's fine.
You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? First win of 2026. First win of 2026.
It's crazy, isn't it? But Chris, Alex.
Yeah.
This is Chris just texted me, by the way. He wants me to absolutely school Luba about saying, but it's fine. I'll do it in a second. But Alex is right. We deserve it, and I don't. When I say I don't mean all the fans. I don't mean all that. As a football club, we deserve it. The summer window and the January window just proved how arrogant as a football club we believe we are, from top to bottom to fans to everyone.
It's not arrogance, Perchy. It's not arrogance.
It's massively arrogant.
It's incompetence.
No, it's arrogance.
It's arrogant. Not arrogant.
No, it is arrogant to think that we don't need to.
Mate.
No, it is arrogant. Listen to. Let me finish my point. You can retort it all you like, and you will anyway. We are arrogant because we felt that it was acceptable to not bring anyone in. We sold Heung-min Son, not signed anyone. Sold Brennan Johnson, not signed anyone. So it's arrogance to think we'll be fine because we've got Gray, we've got Bergvall, we've got Tells, we've got Odebergs, we've got these players. We will be fine.
They went after Gibbs White. They went after Eze. Come on, Perchy, you've forgotten that.
Yes, we didn't get them, and then we didn't sign anyone.
And we
didn't sign anyone after them. So no.
It's not arrogant.
It's massively arrogant.
Lange was not good enough to get the players in that he needed. It's as simple as that. The guy's hopeless. It's not arrogance. The guy's just not good enough.
So why? Okay, fine. Then why do we think that okay, fine. I'll let you have that one point. What I will flip it on though is this. Why do we think that we have the audacity to think that, it's only this team, we should be beating them. It's only this team, we should be beating them. We're no better than anyone in this league. No one. We have this outlining arrogance to think we're going to turn up to Craven Cottage and beat them. We have this outlandish arrogance that we're going to turn up to it. Nottingham Forest are going to turn up to us. We'll do a bit of a bus parade and then lose and get absolutely battered. When do people not just realise maybe we're just not as good and maybe we need to just accept that we're not good? But everyone wants to be super tippity-top super fans and be, we're the greatest team. No, we're not. We're crap. End of.
Perchy, the fans, I talked to fans at all away games and there was plenty of chat around me yesterday. Everybody knows where we are as a team. No one is in denial at all.
I think there's a lot of people in denial. There is a lot of people in denial.
Believe me, the away fans know exactly, and I'm talking as an away fan. I sit with the same sort of people. I sit with the same group of people at home games, the guys behind me. Nobody's in any doubt of where we are. Nobody. No one I sit around sitting here, and obviously you sit with the same people at home, you sit with the different people away. And no one's in any doubt. There's no arrogance. There's no thinking we are Tottenham Hotspur. Everybody knows we're not a good side. And we're 18th in the table, which is proof that we're not a good side. So,
it's okay to say, but Lupo, it's okay to say that. But what I hear all year completely contradicts that. Right? Look, by the way, I make you both right. Both of you died on a hill for a particular word. I think it's arrogance. I think it's ignorance. I think it's incompetence. I think it's all of the above has been displayed by Tottenham, right? All of the above. Only Spurs could sell Brennan Johnson, then watch Kudus get injured 2 days later, and then decide that we don't need a winger. Only Spurs would do that. Now, that is ignorance. That is arrogance as well. It was, we've got Odeberg. Before we got Odeberg, we'll be all right. But
they went for Savinho, didn't they, Sam?
When?
I'm talking about January. I'm talking about August. They went, Sonny had gone.
No, January, what we were talking about
January was horrendous. January was
the summer. So was the summer, Lupo. And I'm going to die on that hill. I said it in the summer, and you lot on the Spurs 5, you all said to me now let's have 4 first-team players. And I said, this has been a negligent transfer window. We didn't buy what we needed. And you said, we can get that next window.
Well, I didn't have any choice. It was September the 2nd. But listen, we got, for Spurs to get 4 players for Enoch was good. We needed 8.
We got 2. We got 2 and 2 on loan. We didn't,
But we all genuinely thought that Simmons and Moani would have more impact this season. We're all happy when they joined. Moani, based on his form at Frankfurt, the fact that PSG wanted him, he did okay at Juventus, and you just thought, what?
So when you say people were happy, people were more relieved that we signed someone. There's a big difference there. Sitting there saying, we were happy. I don't think people were happy. People were going, thank God we've just signed somebody. And it turned out, it just shows how lackluster it's become because getting no planning.
What we did, Solanke got injured in July and should have been, and they messed about with him for 5 weeks before deciding that he needed I think he came off injured, didn't he, against City? And then they finally decided to get him operated on. That was ridiculous. We wasted a month, a massive month.
I think
we wasted months when we knew Heung-min Son was leaving this football club and not bought a left winger. We're still, by the way, we're getting. But hang on, sorry, we're getting close to the anniversary, by the way, of Heung-min Son leaving this football club, and we still not replaced the left winger.
Hang on, Perchy. Does anybody honestly know? I'm not making excuses for the club here. But just focusing on, does anybody actually know when he told Tottenham? We're all surmising. We're all surmising that he told Tottenham at the end of May. But I've got to tell you something: there are no secrets in football. Everything gets out on social media, and nobody heard that Son was leaving until.
Hang on. That's not true. That's not true. There were reports at the end of last season that he was going out and joining, and joining that team in the US. Right.
Yeah,
so those reports were coming out.
Sonny didn't announce anything until.
But it's not about Sonny. Hang on. It's not about Sonny announcing it, right? In the background, he has said himself in the interview that I made Tottenham aware that I was leaving the club in the summer. Like he said it himself, right? Yeah. And I'm sorry, even if he didn't, let's play that hypothetical game, and then I'll bring Alex in. Even if he didn't, right? There was still so much time in the transfer window from the moment Son left to go and buy a replacement.
We could have had Lookman comfortably. Lookman was there to buy, but they didn't buy him.
Right,
it was ridiculous.
But we could have had
Lookman. I'm only talking about when Sonny announced. That's all I'm talking about. I know. Let's not veer off that subject.
We could have had Lookman. We could have had Grealish. We could have had Savio. We could have had Akliouche. If you want to go down that path, we could have had Solis, by the way, of Club Bruges, who's a very good player. But we will turn our noses up at him because yada yada. Whichever way you look at it, Alex, people will say it's hindsight, but the transfer windows over the last however many years have culminated in where we are right now. Right, this squad. If I'm not wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Other than Ben Davis, I don't think anyone's been here longer than 5 years.
Correct.
No. Right. Okay. So in the last 5 years, Paratici and Lang between them have put this squad together. And I think in the last 5 years, we've spent 950 million, something like that. Right.
Yeah.
Alex, that's
that much. Is it that
yes,
much?
it's
we spent loads of money.
Well, 120 million was spent on.
Anyway, trust me, it's roughly 930, 940 million, right? Because it's just below Arsenal. Alex, we have spent nearly £1 billion in 5 years on this squad, right? We created this. This isn't unlucky, is it? This isn't confident.
It shoulda, woulda, coulda. It shoulda, woulda, coulda, isn't it? Really, at the moment, isn't it? I don't involve strategy in this, and I'll tell you a reason why, right? And this is on the premise that I don't rate him I don't think he was right for Tottenham getting to him. I think he would have been more proactive, regardless whether he got the Igor Tudor idea wrong. He got it wrong because it was his idea. I think he would have been more proactive. You see him the way he's at Fiorentina at the moment, and how proactive he is there at the moment. And the way he worked with Daniel.
By the way.
Pardon?
I'm watching them right now, but I've got them in my app.
So that's the way that he is. I think he would have not stood for this whatsoever. The way that he completely transformed the club while he was at the club, because the structure was completely done.
Didn't he put most of it? But hang on, Alex. Sorry, I've got to jump in here.
Yeah.
A lot of this squad, by the way, we all talk about Lang. But Paratici bought a lot of it. Paratici bought Porro, Adogi, Romero, Benton.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. This is not what I'm disagreeing with you. The signings have been up and down. That's we're not disagreeing on that. But my point is, I think he would have been more hands-on from what we're seeing at the moment. Because at the moment, I don't really want to go on too much about Lange and Vinay, because I've made my point about them so many times now that I know they're not good enough. But they're worse than him. And that's where my problem is at the moment. It's similar to Højbjerg. When I didn't like Højbjerg. And then Højbjerg went, we got worse in Archie Gray. Sorry, Lubo, but you know my point. Yeah? Right? We got worse in Archie Gray. You get what I'm saying? You know, Heung-min Son. Everyone was criticised about Heung-min Son. We've got worse. We've got Tell. You know what I mean? We got rid of Brendan Johnson, who's replaced him. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going back to the people that are worse. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to go back to Parategy because I didn't like him.
Oh, he was awful.
My point is, though, we ain't got nobody better. We ain't got nobody better than bloody David Pleat. Let's be honest here. David Pleat, Paul Mitchell. And I didn't even like David Pleat. So it just comes down back to the plan, Savva. That's the point at the moment. Right. And this is why we're at where we're at the moment. You can only get so much, see what you're seeing over the last, since Pochettino left. And it's not, the barometer was not Pochettino. It's just that's the last time I felt something more, I had something more of a feel for Tottenham. You get what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. I completely get it.
Since then, I've not felt anything. And it's like I said, my first statement, my first thing I said when I came on, that Xavi Simons goal was the first time I felt like I wanted to cheer for my team, because I felt it, because it was so good. It felt like Gareth Bale goal. You get what I'm saying? You know, a David Ginola goal that got you off your feet and saying, "Wow, I can't believe I've just seen that." You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I completely agree. I as I said, I think the problem is when you look at, as I said, like whatever the number is, it's over £900 million in 5 years, right?
I've just added up, Sav. I've just added up the cost of bringing all the players who are on this season in this season's squad.
Go on.
722. Sure,
but I'm going by what.
You're going by the last 5 years.
Some have come and some have gone, right?
I think that's correct. But that's where we are. David Pleat, by the way, brought in Modric and Dele Alli.
But my point is, right, listen, I don't want to be pedantic about numbers. The point is, we've spent a bucket load, right? Yeah. We spent an absolute bucket load, and this is what they've put together. Yeah. Now, it doesn't matter who likes what player. None of that really matters, right? Everyone's got a player they really like. Everyone's got a player that they really want to. As a collective, this is what we have put together in 5 years, other than Ben Davies, who's been here forever. This is what we have put together. And when you actually break it down, position for position, I look at this and go, yeah, I get why we are where we are. And that's why I don't think I'm as angry as other people. I know other people are screaming and I don't think I'm as angry, because somebody said, like Ferg made a really good point. He showed us a tweet he sent out, didn't he? In the middle of last season, where he's having a conversation with people on X and said to them, we could be in relegation trouble next year. And everyone laughed at him, right? And again, that's the arrogance of what Perchie was saying. Everyone laughed. And the problem is we went into another summer where we didn't do what we needed to do after finishing 17th, right? That's where I think it was a neglectful window.
For sure.
We saw a glimpse of the future. We finished 17th. The warning sign was there. The warning sign was there. Yeah. And this club chose to buy 2 senior pros and loan 2, right? That's what we decided to do in a summer transfer window. We then get to a January transfer window and don't want to add to a depleted, injured squad. So if people think that I'm negative, if people think that I'm harsh, fine. We kind of deserve this. Not us, not Lubo the fan or Alex the fan or Perchie the club, the hierarchy, the people that make the decisions and sign the checks, they kind of deserve this, because they had opportunities to witness the bad event. They had an opportunity. If someone come up to you and said, by the way, tomorrow, do not go to XYZ place. There's going to be a bomb there. You wouldn't go because someone's given you the heads up. Spurs saw the bomb last year and went, let's do the exact same thing again this season.
Yeah.
Incompetence.
What they did was hide behind the Europa League win.
Yes.
And loads of people said, great result, but what happens next, right? Everyone during the summer was still in this delirious, we won a trophy feeling and went, what's the plan moving forward? And you're kind of right. Everyone kind of got so carried away with that, even into the start of the new season, thinking that it's some level of springboard and we're gonna start changing. We did exactly the same, if not worse. And look, I'll leave this. I've got to shoot. I was meant to shoot about 20 minutes ago, but what I'll leave on this is Paratici, by the way, doesn't get away with it. Lang gets all the abuse. Paratici was as bad. Just gets away with it because he walked around with his headphones on and everyone thought he had aura or whatever it was. He was no better than anyone. I think he gets away with it because he has equally a cult following like all the crap players he signs. He has this weird cult following of people that love him. I think he was as average as Lang. Look, all I want is Savva. We have this conversation and yeah, we agree on it. Ooh, but where's the fucking plan at Tottenham? What is the plan? We're all and do you know what? Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but it almost shows the arrogance in Tottenham to think if we stay up, we'll sign Senesi. I've read somewhere, by the way, we may have broken some level of rules for doing this, by the way, but no, like supposedly, like so where you can kind of set a precedent deal without agreement in case, depending on promotion and relegation, staying up and not. But I read so, but look, it just shows arrogance. Oh, we're going to sign Andy Robertson. We're going to sign Senesi if we stay up. Let's just stay up first. Let's put our energy at the moment in staying in the Premier League instead of worrying about it. We're so weird as a football club. It's funny. It's the first time I've seen Tottenham start planning for next season. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that when we finish fourth in the league and go, okay, fourth in the league, let's start planning. We're doing it now whilst we should be focusing on staying in the division. Now, I love you and leave you guys. Thank you very much for having me on, man. I've got to shoot.
See you.
Take care, man. There you go.
I asked the question. What ages they're on? That's the thing as well, because I think there's a question to be answered on that at the moment. I'm not saying that's a big deal, but it's quite telling that someone like Senesi, not that I know a lot about him because I haven't really watched a lot of him, and Robertson are quite quick to go to Tottenham and wanting to sign up for Tottenham on a free, and without any questions. I do question what their motive are to come into Tottenham at the moment. And I know they might be better than what we got. I don't know. I haven't watched them enough. I think Robertson is kind of going down a little bit now, but I do ask the question: what is their motivation of coming to Tottenham right now? You know what I mean? What is the plan going forward? Because is this with this involvement with De Zerbi at the moment? And because the thing is, though, you're gonna have to make sure that he's happy with it. Because when you look at what you looked at Mawani when he missed that chance and he hit it wide, he didn't even flinch. So that's shown you why he got taken off at half time, and that shows you what he thinks about Mawani. You know what I mean? Who's on loan at the moment.
Well, let me, Lubo, this is an interesting one. Lots of people have been talking about it this week, and I've not really been online to discuss it. People talking about this is the first time they're seeing that we're linked with agreements in principle with players, and it's the one time we're in a relegation battle. We might not even be able to do it. Do you believe that they've got a plan for the other eventuality?
I don't think they have an idea what they're doing. Honestly, I don't believe any of this speculation. To be honest, I'm going down Stell's route here. I think it's a lot of talk. I remember in Ange's first season, there was a lot of talk about Ange didn't want Eze. With Postecoglou and Eze, Spurs didn't even make an offer for Eze, and in the press you'd have it believe that Spurs were right in for him. It was all rubbish. It was all nonsense. Spurs. The only times I think Spurs spoke, they made an inquiry. I think it might have been Winks, possibly, or Skip. I'm going back nearly 3 years now.
Yeah. So sorry, can I just say sorry?
It was just crap with.
This is absolute bullshit. Sorry, I'm just going to put this out. Sorry, I'm sorry. We did try to sign playmakers in the summer, even without a front-footed manager. We tried to sign Morgan Gibbs-White, and we tried to sign Eze. So this is not true in any way. Sorry, we can't just make things up.
Okay.
Sorry, look, we'd have signed a couple of playmakers on midfield last summer, but we tried. we tried, didn't we?
We did try, and we also had Maddison fit up to a pre-season friendly as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, unfortunately, when Maddison went down, that threw the whole thing. That we didn't have another 10 because they weren't keen. Frank didn't want to keep Donnelly, so we were short of a 10. So and that was that. That was that.
Yeah.
So I think Alex, I think it's much bigger than a Lang Paratici blame game. I think you've got to have people at the top. You've got to have football people on the board. I mean, can you name another company worth, say, conservatively 3 billion that doesn't have an expert in that field, in that product? I can't think of another company.
We're not disagreeing though. We're not disagreeing.
And they set the parameters. They set the strategy. The people at the top, they operate. They decide how the club runs, and they decide who comes in, and they decide on the people who bring those people in. Well, Levy brought in Munn, who brought in Lang and Ange. So
we're not disagreeing though, Lubo. We're saying the same thing.
Until it changes, until either they bring in football people to work with them on the board, because had they have done that, then they would have actually, someone who knows about football would have listened to Paratici, who turned around to Vivian Lewis, I believe, in November and said to Vinay, it's not working with Frank. Players don't respect him. He's not getting out of them what he should be. There's a real casual atmosphere around the training ground. People are turning up late for training. And there was no one on the board for who's a football person. Vinay's hopeless. He's proven since he put Lange and Paratici as co-directors of football, and not have not have Paratici on top with Lang underneath it. He's just made mistake after mistake. The guy's hopeless.
We're not disagreeing though, Lubo. This is not the point. I think we're all saying the same thing, because I think the same way as you. But the only thing is though, we've already got our answer. We've seen it last week in the news that they're sticking with the same process that has got us in this trouble in the first place. So for me at the moment, I've got to that point now where I'm fed up with hearing the same thing every single time. So in it out for me. That's the most unrealistic thing that's come out my mouth last couple of weeks now, because I don't see anything changing, and I just think we just roll the dice at the moment. And I don't see anything changing, and we're going to continue making mistakes that we're doing before, really. You know what I mean? So,
the problem is, Alex, that unfortunately there doesn't seem to be anybody with any gravitas, who's majorly competent at the club.
I think that's the worry, Lubo, isn't it? That is the worry. Who's
so
making?
You understand the spiral down from where we were when we left the lane 9 years ago. We finished second with 86 points. So it's been downhill. I know we reached Champions League final. That was fantastic. In terms of the league position, we went from second to third to fourth, and then downwards. And only, and Conte got us into fourth on one occasion. They didn't back Conte. So if we do go down, I don't think anybody will be surprised because of the way the club's run.
I think the key thing here, I think Alex does raise a great point there, though, right? That we're talking about, and by the way, guys, we're only going to go for another 10 minutes and then I'll wrap it up on the 2-hour mark. It's that we're all sitting here as fans going, surely we've learned a lesson again. Surely Surely the board are going to sack Vinay. Surely they're going to sack Lang. Surely they can't keep. And then when the news comes out that Spurs are in talks with Kel, and I'm not going to get really into the Kel thing, but to work with Lang, and you think that again, we've not learned. We've not learned our lesson, have we? We have not learned our lesson of anything that's happened over the last however many years. We're going to go and do the same thing again. And then what will happen? Kel will want this person, Lang will want that person, and then it will be a big old, who's on whose side? Because there's no top football person there to go, I'm making the decision.
Sure.
So we kind of, we keep doing it to ourselves. We keep doing it to ourselves.
And even De Zerbi said it. He said he's not going to. It's not about the league. It's about everyone working as a one, basically. He says, and that's going to keep him at Spurs. And to me, at the moment, he's already said things that already that's made me. Well, you can see that he can see what's going on. He can see exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? You know, I really do encourage people to watch when Moani had that shot and he missed, and you look at De Zerbi's reaction to him. Honestly, it's telling. It's telling a lot.
I didn't see it.
You should see his reaction to him. Yeah. And I think he knows a lot of these players are not good enough at the moment. And
Alex, these managers are no fools. They know what players, what quality, what level of players they've got. There's no,
The only player that's coming out of this well at the moment is Kinski at the moment, because Kinski's had two good games at the moment.
Do you not think? Listen, I think Bentancur's had a couple of decent games from what I could see. I couldn't.
I think Bentancur coming back in has helped massively.
Massively.
He's helped massively, but he's doing his job, and he's coming in for Archie Gray and Bergvall. So there's a little bit more experience. He's a little bit more calmness on the ball. And sure. So he has been good, but I think he's just shown his experience. That's the thing. Basuma showing his experience. Gallagher showing their experience. That's it. That's all it is.
How do you guys think? Very difficult. You're in the corner. You're low down. Very, very difficult, particularly with the sun in your eyes. There's a big shadow. You're watching the game like this, and you're trying to get an idea of what's going on. And how do you guys think Basuma and Gallagher played yesterday? Because you had a much better view of the overall game watching it on telly than I did.
Again, a lot of the ball, a lot of possession, not really going anywhere. And this is the problem. We know what they're both about, right? We know, like, I don't expect players that don't have a particular skill set to offer that skill set, if that makes sense. We know what they are. They're going to work hard. They're going to fight. But you've got to have some guys in there that when they give the ball to them can make things happen. And that's not their game. And that's why in an ideal world, if you look at most teams that play the three-man midfield, most teams will have the one who dictates play, right? The one who works his bollocks off, and then the creator, right? We've at the moment got three that just work their bollocks off. So I'm not really expecting anything, Lubo, from them. So in an ideal world, what you just for example, you want next year, let's say you want an Adam Wharton who controls the game. You want a box-to-box player like a Gallagher, and then you want a Maddison who's a playmaker. That's the ideal. But at the moment, we've got three very similar skill sets, all playing in the middle of the park.
They're winning runners that don't create. So
of course, it's not their game.
That's
it's not their game, and
which is why I think outside the box, and I bring the kid in from the under-21s, Thompson, who's having an absolutely fantastic season.
West Ham have got game changers. They've got game changers. They've got Wilson who came on yesterday and scored the goal.
Alex, I think we've got 11 players injured now with these two. Although I think that will be down to 10 because I think Udogie hopefully will be back for the match at Villa Park.
But Lubo, we remind about referees.
I would stick the kid on the bench. I think I'd rather have a full bench than have 7 or 8 instead of 9.
I agree. The question's going to be this. The question, I've got no problem with Tynan Thompson being on the bench. The question's going to be this. Whenever I've watched Tynan Thompson, he's a flying winger, right? Yeah. The question's going to be the way Spurs play. is that going to work for him? Are we going to get the ball out to him? Is he going to have bodies to come and support him? Is he going to have bodies to aim for in the box? That I've got no problem with him being on the bench and seeing what happens, because it's, that's the situation we're in.
So you've got a choice. You've got a choice. Just trying to think differently and outside the box and completely differently to how De Zerbi has played in his first 3 games. You could do, for me, you do one of 3 things. You have Gallagher playing off Richie and making those runs in from behind, because we saw that against Palace. That's number 1. You push Porro forward, bring Spence at right back if Udoggy's fit next week, and push Porro forward, because technically Porro's good. He's not a defender. Spence is a much better defender, but Porro can whip in a good cross. And 3, you've got the wild card, which is your substitution, which is bringing Thompson on to play quickly down that left and go at defenders. It's a wild card. Beggars can't be choosers. It's desperation stakes now. We've lost Kulu, Kudus, Solanke, Maddison, and Odebear from that front 4.
I think maybe it's a chance to give an element of surprise at the moment, but
absolutely
forgive me at the moment. Forgive me, Lubo. At the moment, I've got no confidence other than Danzo at the moment, who's just good because he's consistent and he works hard, and that's it for me. I've got no confidence in anybody at the moment that's really giving me anything. Maybe Bentancur, but again, I'm not going to change my thoughts on him. He's just what we've got at the moment. He's showing a little bit more than the other team at the moment. So maybe you can do that, but there is. I need to see more. Unfortunately, and I think the times we've really lost. We've lost enough time now. I think it's too little, too late for me at the moment.
Alex, it's just about getting results now. That's all.
I know, but the point is, Lubo. At the moment, I know it's getting results, but I just look at the teams at the moment. Like Leeds, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham, they've got the attitude of they don't care about other results. They don't care about us at the moment. They're just thinking about themselves and thinking we need to win our games and we'll stay up. At the moment, we've got this complex of feeling sorry for ourselves. At the moment, all I saw in WhatsApp groups was, why has West Ham not got red carded? Why do we not give a penalty against them? Why are the referees not giving us all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm sorry, we have 38 games. We've got 38 games to play.
Agreed.
38 games to play. And this is what happens in the relegation zone. You've just got to fight. You've got to fight.
Alex, the problem is, if you're winning games, bad refereeing decisions get forgotten about.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're down near the bottom, every bad decision seems to, you're looking for that bit of luck. West Ham had it yesterday. How VAR didn't pick that handball up, God only knows. I mean, they must have had Stevie Wonder in Stockley Park, because that was absolutely dreadful.
But fair enough, though. But you get your handballs. You don't get your handballs. It's like at the end of the day, we still have to. It's
just heightened, isn't it? It's all heightened because we're looking for. Listen, Alex, I'm old school, right? I believe that after 38 games, where you end up, right? Nothing to do with refs, nothing to do with pundits, nothing to do with where you end up is where you end up, right? Injuries, yeah, you get them, but there's a reason why you have transfer windows. There's a reason that these things exist, right? So for me, if we go down because we went down, right? Yes, shit decisions have gone our way this year and shit decisions have gone against us this year. But every single fan base you speak to, they all say the same shit. I see Arsenal fans going, we've had so many against us this year.
Oh, my God. They're the last to complain with what they've got away with. Jesus.
But Lubo, this is the point. Spurs fans will sit there going, oh, my God, we're the most hard done by. West Ham fans, I saw a post the other day, West Ham fan listing all the 10 things that if they'd gone differently this year, they'd be on X point. Every fan base does this, right? At the end of the day, this is down to us. We've got the points to play for. We've had the points to play for ages. We just don't have the quality to pick up the points, right? Now, the big question is going to be, if we stay up, are they going to learn? If we stay up, are they going to learn? Are they going to rip this squad apart and start again? Or are we going to go into another season going, new manager, he'll get more out of these players next season. And then we go, oh, loads of injuries next season. Oh,
I think De Zerbi will know. In fact, De Zerbi's having, if he stays, I hope he does. If he stays, he's had his pre-season in these matches, hasn't he? He's learned about his players better than any pre-season friendly.
Sure. Do you think he stays? If we go down, do you think he stays?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm going to tell you something. I think if I'm earning £1 million a month, I think I'd maybe give it a year. I think I'd give it a year.
I don't think he stays because I think
there'll be big jobs, Alex.
Because I think he's looking at it and thinking they're doing stuff without his say at the moment. I think under him at the moment. Last week when they had that news about the director of football, I don't think that's spoken to him. I don't think they've had spoken to him about it.
Alex, I think Lang goes. I think he's gone.
It's not about Lang anymore. No.
If it's about De Zerbi having problems getting the players in that he wants the next season because Lang is proving to be an obstacle, then yes, you're going to get fireworks very, very quickly. Yeah. I think Lang goes. I think there's no way that he can justify staying in his job for next season.
I don't think he's just the main problem at the moment. I just think something just needs to completely and utterly change, reset for me, for it to really work for me. And I don't know whether that will involve De Zerbi being in there because I just think it's just too messy at the moment. I don't know. I really don't know.
Can I ask you, lads, right? If you were De Zerbi, take your Spurs hat off. If you were De Zerbi and Spurs go down, you're going to have Man United possibly looking for a manager, Chelsea possibly looking for a manager, right? Liverpool possibly looking for
Liverpool said he's staying. Liverpool actually come out last week and said Slot stays.
Sure. A couple of bad results will change that very quickly. Don't worry about that. But I can't understand why he would stay if we go down. I'll be honest. If he does, fair play to him. If he does, massive respect to him. But would you want to go and do a year in the Championship?
No. I don't know if he'll go Chelsea because of the mess that they're at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's more the European jobs. The European jobs might tempt him a little bit as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, because like I said, he said something very telling. Like I said, it's about the collective being together as one thinking.
Yeah.
And if one's not thinking one way and another thinking that way, him thinking this way and another person thinking that way, it's always going to blow up over maybe 6 months to a year. We've seen this already with Pratigy and Lang and the other managers, and we've seen this before with other things happening in the past. So this is why I'm very I don't think it's going to work, and that's why ultimately why I'm saying in it out now. Brian's going to be absolutely proud of me by me saying this, Brian Daigle saying this now, but this is why I'm saying it out now, because I just don't see any other way forward at the moment, because they're just not going to learn. They're not learning anymore.
Alex, I think you got two different subjects there.
Yeah.
Let's sort of put the ENIC outside because you know how I feel about that. Let's put that to one side. If you're talking about De Zerbi stays, and if De Zerbi is going to get what he wants, then I think this is the best timing-wise, this is the best for any manager to go to the Spurs board and say, right, if you don't want 2 years like you've just had, and if we, that Spurs would have been, Matthew Collicott, who's the financial director, would have done all the figures months ago, looking at, as soon as they started going towards the relegation zone, they would have been looking at how relegation affects the club. And they'll have all the figures in front of them, and the owners will think, shit, this is big money we're going to lose. We're losing big money on a micro year-to-year basis, and we're losing big money on a macro valuation of the assets. So this is a disaster right the way round, macro and micro.
It's
so how how have we got to this? So they'll be looking at they pulled Nick Boucher in because obviously they had no confidence in Vinay or Lang. They made the decision because Vinay and Lang said we want Frank to stay to the end of the season. The board made the decision. They overruled Vinay and Lange and said Frank's gone. They went to Paritici to get Tudor, and Paritici was the one that recommended De Zerbi. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went to Paritici to get to initiate to facilitate the initial contact between the club and De Zerbi. So for me, that's how I see it. I might be completely wrong, but from what I've been told, that's what's happened. And I just think that De Zerbi is in a very, very strong position, particularly if he keeps them up. Because he would have saved them a $1.5 billion drop.
Oh, sure.
Value. Sure. He will be the golden boy if he keeps topping up. They will be missing his backside, believe me.
Do you think, though? Do you think, and we are going to wrap up in a minute, guys. By the way, for anyone that's following, Coventry have taken the lead again against Wrexham. Really good direct free kick from Victor Torp. Coventry got some good players, by the way. Anyway, do you guys think that De Zerbi has rocked up and is a bit like, Jesus Christ, these players are they are not what I thought they'd be? Do you think he's another manager that is finding out very quickly that?
Oh God, for sure.
That these players are just not very good and can't do what he wants.
Sure.
Yeah,
it is because
I watch his face when they pan to him. You can almost see him looking and going, "What is what's going on?" And I think said this for years. I think from the outside looking in, people always talk about the Spurs squad. On paper, the Spurs squad, but how many managers now have had this group of players? How many managers are struggling with the same group of players? Like it. Whatever happens, we need a mass clear out in the summer. I don't care what league we're in. Obviously, I do. I'm just saying, whatever league we're in, we need a mass clear out. This has got to. All the bad eggs have got to go. We need some fresh. We need some fresh impetus, don't we? At this football club, whichever league we're in next year.
Yeah. To Chills in this comments, 200 million spend needed. That's tip of the ocean. That just gets you in 4 or 5 maybe very, very good players, decent players that you need to strengthen the squad. We need a lot more than 4 or 5 for this squad.
Oh God!
I'll tell you something.
That's why, Lubo. That's why when people are saying Robertson, Senesi, I think what people have got to realise is if you are going to have an overhaul of a squad, that means you're going to have to find some really good nuggets, like free transfers, because. We're not going to have 400 million to spend. No. So if you've got 200 million, right, 200 million on these 5 players, let's go and get 3 or 4 on free transfers. They've got to be smart.
If we stay up, I do think they'll sell. I genuinely think they'll sell.
The club?
Yeah, I think they'll sell.
I hope so.
They may be saying no. They may be saying they're not going to sell now, but who says they want to sell? Because instantly, if you turn around and say, I want to sell the company.
Yeah.
It brings the value down.
Of course it does.
So that's what I was trying to say, that I had to roll the dice. That's why I wasn't trying to. I was trying to keep on topic, but my point is my point was that's why I'm saying Enoch needs to go, because I don't see anything changing with them. I think it's just got to that point now where we've all said we need a plan. We need an identity. I think that's where people are losing their interest at the moment. Like I base my opinion on, because I talk with Kuvas most of the time. I hope he's doing well, and that's where we lose it. We lose it all the time. Identity, and I think that if we can get that back, at least, I think people can get on board a little bit. They can sense something going on. The way that you can get footballers doing the same things from the top down to the academy. That's the thing at the moment, and then when you need to bring in a youngster, they don't feel like they're going into the unknown,
Oh, of course.
So because I've seen so many youngsters over the times, like Di Mane, and we sold these players, and they're better than some of the players that we've got right now. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I have to say it. On Andros Townsend, Andros Townsend was thrown out of his club, and yeah, we got good money for him. He could get into this team right now. He can still get into this team right now. That's how embarrassing it is at the moment. You know what I mean? Vincent Janssen. I'm not saying Vincent Janssen was fantastic, no, but I'm tell you right now, Vincent Janssen got a hard time at our club. You know what I mean?
You know what, Alex, it's funny. Janssen was that nearly guy, wasn't he? I mean,
yes, he was.
He missed. I remember being behind the goal for his first game at Goodison, first game of the season, and he missed a sitter on 72 minutes. And had that gone in, I'd think maybe, but his head seemed to drop, and he seemed to miss a lot of chances. And you know what? Poch came in, didn't he? Soon after, I think, and Kane came through. There was no way that Janssen would have made it at Spurs. Oh. Where I think the owners will sell is that they'll, De Zerbi will sit down with them at the end of the season. Let's look at it positively. If we do stay up, if the conversation is about strengthening the team for a Premier League season, De Zerbi will sit down with them, and he will tell them what's needed, and they'll look at the amount of money that they have got to spend, and I think they'll think to themselves, you know what, this is too big for us.
I think the whole fan base needs that. I think the whole fan base. Listen, I get it. Is the grass greener on the other side? I think everyone now is kind of ready to see if the grass is greener with new owners. I feel like we've done this to death now, haven't we? Like Enoch have done this to death. They've shown us what they're about. They've shown us their appetite for risk, which is minimal, if anything. And I think we all need that bit of news now where, listen, the best thing that can happen to Spurs, stay up by hook or crook, Enoch sell up, De Zerbi stays, and we have a complete clear out, and we go, right, let's go into next season with a little bit of impetus. Let's go in with a little bit of optimism, because if we stay up and go in with 90% of this squad again next year, I'll be honest, I'll be sitting in the summer saying the same thing, guys. I'll be sitting there saying, I don't have any optimism going into the season with the same group. Rip it up. Rip this up. Start again. There's too much bad blood there. There's too much. I'm going to tell you,
I think De Zerbi will have the power if we stay up to rip it up. If they don't rip it up, we will go down for sure next year.
And he will have a run, and he'll go. He'll crash out, honestly, because I think there's only so many times he can. I think he has got something about him, De Zerbi. I'm not going to go too early on him because I never do on a manager. I never will, because I can't back a manager until they prove something to me. But there's only so much a coach can do, really. You know what I mean? And
But Alex, if you're a boss and you've given a guy a 5-year contract worth 12 million a year, and then you're looking at him, and we're all talking positively here based on Spurs staying up. You're looking at him having pulled Spurs out of the shit. You're looking at why we're in the shit. You're looking at a director of football who didn't bring in anybody of proper relevance. And I'm not disrespecting Gallagher. I'm talking about the January window, because Gallagher wasn't what we needed. We needed a creative player, and we needed strikers and wingers. He failed to do his job. He's failed to do his job for 2 years, basically. And they would have looked at the potential losses if we get relegated and think, Jesus, this guy nearly brought, I'm not saying Armageddon, but would have put us into a really poor position financially. Why are they going to keep Lang if there's a dispute between? And I think Vinay will either go or be sidelined. I don't see how they can keep him as a CEO. I'm sure. I just don't see it. What has he done to deserve staying in the post?
He's done nothing, absolutely nothing. I think for me, he needs to go. I think Vinay needs to go as well. But
this is a lot of caveats to actually staying up. And let's be brutally honest. Nearly all Coventry are 3-1 up. Nearly all of this conversation is based around if we stay up. Right now, let's be fair. If we go down, whether it's Chelsea before that, the Everton game, the moment it is confirmed that this club gets relegated, if that happens, this is going to be the most interesting summer ever. If we go down, it will have to be, because you're then going to find out how many of these senior pros leave, how many of the kids come back and stay in, how many players we're going to buy for the championship, who's going to be the new director of football, does that director of football know the championship, how much money are we going to sell these big players for, how many of these big players go out on loan to subsidise their salaries for a year. Yeah. It's going to be a crazy, crazy summer. But as it stands, I have no faith that they get it right and we come straight back up. Sorry if that's me being I just have no faith.
I'm going to tell you so. I don't either. And that's why they need to sell. They need to sell, or they need to bring people onto the board who are top football people. You know, it's no secret why a club like Bayern Munich bring top football people into the boardroom and why they have the success that they have.
You got to have football. You got to have football people in there.
Teddy Sheranon's been on TalkSport twice now, and there's a reason why he's gone on TalkSport twice, because he normally doesn't really talk that much, doesn't he? And he's even puzzled what's going on at Spurs at the moment. Honestly, like he's got. I think everyone, but just watching his interviews on TalkSport, he just looks puzzled. He was not happy about the Igor Tudor appointment, and you know, he sticks up for Spurs, and he's just not having it at the moment.
You've got a Tottenham fan in Roy Keane, I'm sure, who would love to help the club. You've got somebody like who the other player was that Spurs. There are several. There are several that I'm sure with the knowledge. Steve Perryman knows the club inside out. Seriously, he's been chairman, I think, of Exeter, so he's had football experience outside of playing. There are people there that would come on and would help the board if the Lewises decide to stay. If they do stay and they don't bring experts onto the board, then it's just going to be the spiral down will continue.
Yeah, it will. Well, look, let's end it there. Let me do some super chats. Look, I think I speak for everyone where we all realise just how important it is to stay up. By the way, our women have just drawn 0-0 with Man United's women at I think that looks like it's at our stadium.
That's a decent result. It's a good result.
0-0. Yeah, good result that 0-0. Listen, guys, I think I speak for everyone when I say we've got to stay up. Please don't conflate. I've heard YouTubers saying that I want to go down. Please don't conflate me saying I think we're going down with wanting to go down. They're two very, very different subjects. Let me do some super chats. Big up to DB Forever. Thank you always with the super stickers. Really appreciate you, my man. And I hope you are very, very well. Big up to Anthony Clark, who's been a member for 29 months. Big up, mate. Said Villa lost, Leeds draw, Chelsea lost, down, you lot go. Anthony is an Arsenal fan, so he's bound to say that. I don't know if I make you wrong there. I think you've got that spot on. However, sometimes in relegation battles there's a shock. But if we don't beat Villa or Leeds, it could be done by the time we play Chelsea. That's the worry, right? So those last two games, massive, the next two games. Big up to you, Anthony. Thank you very much. Big up to Adam Gill, who said we got the win, but with the performance, other results and injuries, I'm more convinced we are going down. That's the worry, Adam. That win came at a massive expense, but big up to you, mate. And hopefully we can battle through. And big up to my man, Jordan Coys, always very generous. So 3 of our top 4 scorers in the Premier League this season are our 2 centre-backs in Romero and Van der Ven and our defensive midfielder in Paulinho. That is a truly damning indictment of the forwards we have assembled. Yes, I don't think there's a single Spurs fan alive or anyone in the chat, right, that can disagree with that statement. Unfortunately, Jordan, that is what we put together. We put together a very poor forward line, right? We did, and we're paying for it.
On this point, if you try and pinpoint, I mean, I'm sure there are several, but if you try and pinpoint one main reason for that was Maddison's injury. That left a massive, massive hole, because we could all wax about Simmons, but Simmons has just not had the impact this year that we had all hoped. And Maddison was and has been a massive, massive loss.
We put all our chips in the Gibbs White basket and the Eze basket, and we didn't have anything else to plan.
That's it, Alex. That's absolutely it. I don't mind that we didn't get Eze. I don't mind that we didn't get Gibbs White. I like that we went for them. But where's option 2, 3, 4? Where's, I don't mind that we went for Savio and didn't get him. But where's option 2 and 3 for the left winger? We went into the season without a left winger. That is mind-blowing for a Champions League football club to go into the season without a recognised left winger. That is truly worrying.
And you may not think he's good enough, but we had a recognised left winger that they chucked out on loan, which was Manor Solomon. So that was the most ridiculous decision as well. If you're not going to replace somebody, don't get rid of the one left winger you do have. So
right, it's ridiculous. Talking about left wingers,
it's ridiculous.
Talking about left wingers, Mikey Moore is on the bench today for Rangers at home to Motherwell, for anyone that cares. So that game is going to be live at 3 p.m. You've got the FA Cup semi-final for anyone that wants to watch that. Quickly, lads, just before we go, Chelsea going to be a bit of an unknown quantity, right? With this guy that's stepping up. So Chelsea or Leeds? What we going with today? Who do you think is going to win?
Well, for me, I want Leeds to win. I want Leeds to win because I don't like Chelsea, and I want Leeds to win because then they'll be playing us 5 days before a Wembley Cup final. So 2-1 Leeds for me. 2-1
Leeds, Alex.
2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Yeah, I think Chelsea win this. I do. I just got a feeling they're going to be. I don't want to say they're unshackled. I don't know. It just felt like the players, weren't playing for Rosenior. But anyway, guys, girls, enjoy your Sundays. I will try and enjoy mine. Thank you to Alex. Thank you to Box Office. Thank you to Perchy. Thank you to Stel, who popped on as well from the beach in Cyprus. Lucky boy. And guys, we are playing next week. Next Sunday, 7 p.m, I believe. We'll have the watch along. Lubo, you going?
Sorry?
You going? Villa Park?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Loves it. Absolutely.
Oh, is it 7 p.m?
I think it's at 7. Is it 7 p.m?
7 p.m.
Oh, it's a shame I can't watch it then.
Why are we playing the day before Bank Holiday Monday at 7 p.m? Why?
I don't get
it.
Because
the other Sky matches were already in place, and they couldn't confirm Villa until they knew whether Villa would be in the semi-finals. So originally the game was meant to be on Saturday.
As
soon as Villa qualified and beat Bologna, they had to switch the game, and 7 o'clock for Sky was the only time slot available, I think.
Luckily, it's a bank holiday, so people that are travelling back don't have to worry about. It depends on trains, isn't it?
That's
really?
Right. They haven't got work the following morning, which is a good thing.
That's the thing. That's a good thing at the end of the day, because if it wasn't, bloody hell, I feel sorry for them. Spurs better do a good performance there. Oh boy,
we'll see. Next Saturday, 3 p.m. Everyone's going to be tuning into West Ham versus Brentford, aren't they? And everyone's going to be going, please, Keith Andrews, please. Guys, thanks very much. I'll see you all during the week at some point. Much love. Take care. And as always, Enoch out. And come on, you Spurs.